hello to the people on the old YouTube. I think they're here.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Good evening, all.
So they're here. I must stress to the listeners at home, right? Richard Shawright is not here. This is the worst day of my life, right?
But he's eating jelly and ice cream.
He's having jelly and ice cream. I think we're going right. We're live on. I think we're live on Facebook. I think we're live on YouTube. I think. Get in touch. Let us know. The old podcast is on.
Is that your word of the night tonight? I think 2 words.
I think.
Yeah?
I think.
Right.
I think.
Right.
Right. Hopefully everyone can see us. I'm worried. I don't like having to press the buttons. I really don't like it.
Right. We're on. We're on anyway. Right.
Now the question is for the non-podcast listeners: where is Richard Shawright? Now we had a vote on Twitter, right? Because I want your opinion. I want the listeners' opinion on this. Shawright, right? This is Richard Shawright, lifelong Wakefield,
Ex-ball boy.
ex-ball boy. Once played at Bellevue. Apparently dropped the ball as well. He could have won if he'd have caught it. But
sounds like the first team yesterday.
Yeah. He said he wanted Leeds to win yesterday.
You can't.
I felt sick. If I'm honest, I felt sick.
So is this a yellow card, effectively?
Well, we put it to the listeners and hundreds of people voted. It was really tight. All the Wakey fans said it's justified he's allowed to want Wakey to win. And then we tweeted a picture yesterday. I think Shawright was at Leeds.
Is he allowed to want Leeds to win, you mean?
Yeah, he wanted Leeds to win, yeah. It's not on for me. What about you? I've
Well, to be honest,
he's gone.
Yeah.
I've sacked him.
Well, to be honest, it's like you tonight, you know, and you're wearing your Leeds in Crisis t-shirt. Well, they're totally out of date now. They've been totally out of date for, I'd say, around about 4 weeks, you know. So we're comfortable. Me and Phil are absolutely delighted, and I must say, you know, you give me a bit of stick last week in my vest. Well, I tell you what, that is absolutely pathetic.
Well,
Keep
hold on.
Hold on. Keep it on. Keep making yourself look a prat with that Leeds in Crisis t-shirt, because we are safe. We are safe.
I wish Richard, Phil was there. I wish Richard. I said, well done, Richard. Great job. Congratulations. Right. So you're right. Leeds in Crisis. Go.
This is going to be a ritual burning of that t-shirt.
So that's gone now. That's gone. Rubbish. So now we've got a new bandwagon. Look at this. I see the Salford Reds are rising. Go on, Salford. We ain't got. Look at this. I've even got an app now. Come on. I'm all aboard the Salford bus. We're going to the playoffs. I better put my glasses on. I can't see.
Have you been on the sauce today?
Well, you know, I mean, I don't want to say. But I am now. You know, someone said, you know, and that song bloody annoys me. Everywhere I go, it pops into my head.
What is that song? No, it's from my best film ever. It's from London, American Wave in London. And
what, they sing the Salford Reds are rising?
No, Bad Moon is Rising, you know what I'm saying. But have you been on the sauce today, Miss?
No, I haven't.
Because we're not allowed to ever tip against Salford.
Well, I don't think I did last week.
So who are they playing this Friday night?
They're playing Leeds.
All right.
They're playing Leeds.
Indeed.
Go on, Salford. You know it makes sense. Eh? They go to the playoffs, Salford. I tell you, they're the grand final winners. Possibly.
I don't know about that.
I hope Rich can edit that bit out. I don't know. But anyway, so thanks to Terence for my t-shirt. Yeah, I am now a Salford fan. So there we go.
So somebody sent you that then?
Someone sent me this today, yeah. Because I said about, you know, well done to Salford, but I'm sick of hearing that bloody song everywhere I go. It comes into my head, I can't get rid of it.
Where's our t-shirts? We could have all worn these Salford t-shirts.
No. You're Leeds, aren't you?
Oh, hold on, what were you then? This week.
I have no club. My club died, of course. You all know that.
Well, I reckon this week you should be. I've spoken to my LKR people today, and they're in agreement with the legend. And as I spoke to you today, Mark, and I think you owe Ulkison Rovers an apology because hold on. You owe Ulkison Rovers an apology because the headlines was what you were saying. The bottlers, and they can't handle it. And the bottlers, well, I don't know if you saw the game on Saturday, I'm sure you did. And
what's the second half?
By the way, did you tip the Catalans or did you tip OKR this week?
I tipped Catalans.
Did you?
I actually said last week, I thought if OKR were going to win a game, that would be the one.
No, hold on. After the Wakefield performance, you were absolutely seething about Ulkison Rovers. But what I said, you know, I was massively surprised against Wakefield and very, very disappointed with the performance. But what I said about OKR was they had plenty of character and the big game players against Spectrum against Catalans. And they got fully deserved to win that victory. So I'm asking you, Mr. Wilson, is the apology out there to all the Ilkeston Rovers fans by saying the bottlers and
only if they're
not good enough?
Only if they beat London on Friday night.
They'll beat London Friday night.
Yeah,
so,
well, when they beat them, I might think about it.
But what about the performance on Saturday? We'll talk about Catalans. We'll talk about Catalans in a minute. But I'm on about.
You saw that video.
You
saw that video last week, right?
Bernard Gouache.
Bernard Gouache.
I haven't seen it. You missed it today.
In the dressing room, going absolutely ballistic. Right. Steve McNamara's sat there like a tailor's dummy, not saying anything, not doing anything. I said to you a few weeks ago, they want him gone, McNamara. And they are playing like a team that wants their coach
they now can't make the playoffs.
They can't make the playoffs.
Which I think is
I can't believe
really
he's not been sacked. I can't believe he hasn't been sacked. I don't want to see anyone sacked, but they're not playing for him.
Okay, right. Well,
so that win don't count at the weekend. You should almost get 2 points knocked off.
No. I want you to apologise.
Why am I going to apologise?
To Ilkeston Rovers supporters for what you said.
Well done, actually, okay. What a good day appointing Tony Smith.
That's the big thing.
We should.
Hold on. What about the performance by Ilkeston Rovers?
But have they
when the pressure was on?
Have they won back to back?
No.
In the Tony Smith era?
No, they haven't.
So the big test is on Friday.
That was a big test at the weekend against the Catalans Dragons because, let's not forget, they were looking for the 5, but also as well, when we're talking about now with the Catalans, I want an apology to the OKR fans by the end of the show, Mr. Wilson. I want an apology because they deserve one.
Do you think
they deserve one? Hold on, Phil. They deserve one, Mr. Wilson. And talking about the Catalans, well, let me just say this about them players. And I want to ask a question. I would love to ask a question. Well, I'm going to put it out there now anyway. What is the purpose of them Catalans players for that Catalan jersey? Because, as I said a couple of weeks ago, it was after the London performance for me as well, they were a disgrace to the jersey, they're a disgrace to the chairman, they're a disgrace to the coach.
And the fans who keep turning up every week.
Exactly, Phil, they're a disgrace to the supporters. So, you Catalans players, what is your purpose of putting that Catalans jersey on? What is your purpose of going to training?
But I don't understand their recruitment.
Well, I'll tell you what, we signed James Maloney for next year. But
they're losing Tony Gigo, who actually should be the heartbeat of that. If he's given the role he wants to play. You are kidding. If he's given the role he wants to play.
Mate, no, you know what?
A French player with flair should be running that team.
Well...
Whether he's capable of it,
he's not capable of it at all.
But is he capable of it? But he's just being given the wrong role.
Well, I'd like to know who's interested in because it wouldn't be for sure if I was coaching any side, I'd be saying no, it's not for me. You look at his discipline. He's a big baby. He sulks.
But is that a bit like when Jake Conn doesn't get his own
one? Well, yeah.
Doesn't mean he's a very talented player.
But also as well, we're just talking about the Catalans here.
Any danger of doing an intro, or are you just going to carry on?
I thought we'd already started.
Well, we have started a little bit, but I think we should set it. Try and set it.
Right, okay. Well, we'll set the first one in. Yeah.
Salford are going to win the grand final. That's number one. I've said that.
Okay, I'll get an apology. Carry on then.
No, okay, I won't get an apology. Not at all. Not having it. You can bring your mates around on Friday if and when they beat London. If they don't, then they'll all owe me an apology, won't they? So we'll wait till Friday. Yeah?
So
we'll find out.
Right. So then, are you saying then, if Hull KR win on Friday, there's an apology next Monday for Ilkeston Rovers?
No, because I still think the bottlers, I don't think they should be in this position. I think they should have pulled away. Like Phil said, win one, lose one. Can't back it up. What do you say? Consistency.
Exactly, consistency, correct.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Right, well, they haven't got it, have they?
Well, the whole teams haven't got it.
Correct.
There's everybody one.
Anyway, we've got to move on because there's so literally normally.
I haven't finished Catalans yet, but
no. There's so much to talk. We haven't even started yet. We need a rewind, but I don't know how to do that on the button either. I've got the laptop open here. Right? I genuinely don't know what I'm supposed to. I am useless without Richard Shaw. Right? Who has got a 1-game ban? Check out our Twitter. I caught a picture of him. A Leeds fan, looked just like him, and I'm sure it was Shaw right cheering on Leeds.
I think it probably was.
Never to be forgiven. It's a bit warm in here for my Salford woolly hat, so I'll take it off. We've got to talk about Eamon McManus. Scully sent me a message on. I was impressed actually. He used the power of social media to contact me on Friday.
He didn't.
Well, he did though, didn't he? He got one of his other people to do it.
Yeah.
So we got a message, Eamon McManus. You saw his comments.
Fax to somebody.
You saw his comments. Absolutely outrageous. I saw Rob Hicks yesterday, as you did. I think he looked shaken. I'm not going to lie. I think it's been a tough week for Rob Hicks. Thought he had a really good game yesterday. By the way, really good game. We need to talk about that. We need to talk about Odsal. 7,500 there. Well done to everyone that went. Odsal is now closed, so we believe. But news breaking today: the players got paid on Friday, but didn't get the bonuses. So that game yesterday came at a really good time, didn't it, for the Bulls? So we'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about Blake Austin and Lachlan Coote. They're going to be playing for Great Britain, legend. They're going to be playing for Great Britain. They're in the train-on squad. What do you reckon to that? We'll speak later.
He's speechless.
Oh, good. I should have mentioned that first. And we'll talk about Jake Connor at Hull. I'm not having him as a number 6. And I don't think Lee Radford is, because he was not happy after the game on Friday. Well done to the Giants. We should say well done to the Giants. What a win for them.
Absolutely.
Well done to Hull KR. Well done to Leeds. They are safe, as the T-shirt throwing away confirms. I did say well done to Richard Aguirre yesterday. I was very
delighted for him.
Very magnanimous in defeat.
I don't know that. We'll talk about it later. But did you get the impression at his post-match press conference that he's going to be confirmed as the new Leeds coach?
I don't know. He seemed very relaxed about it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Very relaxed about it. I don't know. I don't know. What do people think? Should he get the job? I don't know. A lot of people, I tweeted it out. Oh, he shouldn't get the job. He shouldn't get. No, I didn't say that. I said well done to him. I think he's done a good. He's always been great with me as a media person. All the players I've ever spoke to about him say he's a great coach. They all like him.
Yeah.
So why is he not going to get the gig?
I think he will do.
Who else is there?
I think he will do. I think he deserves it.
Apart from Ian Watson, who's your new favourite person?
No, of course he's. Love him. Thinking about getting a Salford, might get a tracksuit next week.
With Ian's head on the...
No, maybe just his name, signed on or something. He's doing well. They are going in the top 5. I tell you what, Thursday night, live on TalkSport 2. Make sure you tune in. Cass Hull, what a game
Cass
that is.
last chance.
Cass last chance. Well, their playoffs have started now, haven't they? Having lost 4-0. 4-0. You were there, Scully. Did you start singing on the radio? You must have done at 4-0.
What was I supposed to sing?
Well, what you used to sing regularly, didn't you, when you were on with us?
Oh, you mean
how boring it was? It boring game?
No,
was
no, it wasn't boring, mate. No. Just because the scoreline said 4. No, it wasn't boring, but I guess we'll talk about it. But in a nutshell, Castelford had enough field position. They had enough ball to win 2 rugby league games. So that just tells you the fact of the matter is I'm the chairman of the Halfback Society, and the halfbacks of Castelford on Friday night in Jake Truman and Jamie Ellis were absolutely pathetic, and they were clueless in attack. That's why they got beat.
Second time they've been
That's why they lost.
I think they were playing till Sunday morning. Saints had got the league leader shield, left the pitch. Cass was still playing nothing.
They still didn't score.
Right, where do you want to start?
I'm
trying to multitask. I'm failing miserably.
I know we'll do all the other leagues, but Whitehaven won away from promotion, and they're away at Coventry this week.
So are we giving them that? They're not been in great form, have they?
Coventry were at home to Oldham this week, who were the other team in contention for promotion, and Oldham got 50. So I'll be very surprised if Whitehaven don't finish the job. And I think when we looked at that league at the beginning of the season, I don't think any of us would have thought that Whitehaven would be the first team to be promoted. So
that's
hats off to them.
Many congratulations.
Whilst it's obviously a shame for Cumbria that Barrow got relegated this weekend, Whitehaven will be in the Championship. So good luck to them.
Yeah, very good. Anyone you'd like to mention, Scott, before we crack on? I'm panicking here. I mean, Richard's given me his password for Facebook. I mean, I could put that picture of him in a Leeds shirt on his Facebook, can I? You reckon I should?
My worry with that is which site she'll come up with his password.
Well, it's all looking good. It's all looking good so far. I am very worried though. I'm very worried.
Have you got any interaction?
Yeah, we've got loads. So we'll pile through some of this
that's good because that means that it must be.
We're on.
Must be working.
Dave said nothing against the bloke. I've always been surprised McNamara got such high-profile positions. His win rate is 46%. Paul said Catalans were garbage. UKR played them at the right time, like London did. And Paul also said, to be fair to RSW, a London loss has meant greater safety for Wakefield. So, well, maybe we should ban Paul as well.
Matters in your own hands. Your natural enemy is always your natural enemy.
But also as well, you mentioned it's quite obvious that the players don't want to play for McNamara. It's there for everybody to see, but I think that's gone. I think that's been maybe for a few weeks, and the job can be easily done without being pathetic on a rugby league field and showing no purpose, showing no desire. Because that just shows to the fans and Bernard Gouache that you don't want to play for the club. So there's easier way to do it, because I know myself, I was involved with a situation with Maurice Bamford back in 1987 with the senior players. The senior players at Leeds this year got David Furner the sack. It's quite simply done. Go to the chairman and say, we don't want this coach, we don't want to play for him anymore. We would like you to relieve him of his duties. So that's what the Catalan players should be doing, instead of putting on shows which realistically is just simply not good enough as professional rugby league players. And another one, total lack of discipline. And he's looking, so we're hearing that he's good on the coaching staff in Greg Bird. I tell you what, Greg has been a quality rugby league player. When he was out in the NRL, he was the Gold Coast Titans, he played for quality. When he played for New South Wales, quality. When he played for Australia, quality. But for the last 2 years or 3 years, he's become an absolute backside of a player, hasn't he? He's whinging, he's moaning, and Ben Fairley was absolutely right at the week about just tell him to shut up, play the ball and stop whinging. You know, and I just don't know what's come of Greg Bird as a rugby league player, because he has been a quality player. But it's all the French guys as well. You look at the discipline, it's as if they don't care less. Well, it's not as if they don't care less. They don't care less. They've no purpose whatsoever.
I think what got them through in previous years was their home performances.
Correct.
So it was almost accepted that they were a different team on the road. But when they went back to 30-degree Perpignan with 8,000 screaming fans,
unstoppable at times, weren't they?
Yeah, and the last two home performances, they've lost to the bottom two teams. And whilst you have to commend the tactics that London and Hull KR came up with, and second half Hull KR were brilliant at shutting the game down. Danny Maguire's fantastic. Not a try, but they didn't need to be. They played at their pace. But if you're a Dragons fan and you're served up that at home, that's when it becomes an issue.
Absolutely. And also as well, the journeymen, what they are, and reading Macca's piece in the League Express regarding players, for the next two games, they're deciding what their future is going to be at the Catalans, i.e. by showing character. Show what character? They couldn't care less. As I've said for the last 2 weeks, they've got the King Edwards out, they've got the Factor 6 on, and they can't wait now for the season to close. It's disgraceful.
I also think they haven't built on that Challenge Cup win.
Absolutely.
That we all said top 5 minimum this year.
I had a third.
Signed a couple of experienced players
absolutely.
that know how to win, building on the back of that. Now it looks like they don't.
They don't care.
Anything other than playing, they'd rather be on the beach at Canada.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But
I'd
unfortunately,
rather be on the beach at Canada, to be fair.
But unfortunately, Steve's going to lose his job, isn't he?
I'm surprised. I can't believe he hasn't been sacked. I think. And what? All right, here's one for you then. Who filmed that video? And how the hell?
I didn't see it. So
It's
I
got to
didn't
be
see
one
it.
of the backroom staff.
I haven't seen it. So
I'll show it to you.
dressing
I'll show it. I'll find it and I'll show it to you. You can have a look, and it'll tell you everything you need to know. But my thing is, who's filmed it and how the hell has that become into the public knowledge? That is what I do not understand. I think that's disgusting.
So again, though, so have the players seen that, and have the players said to whoever who's filmed it and said, get it out there and let people have their own philosophy, i.e. you've done that. Look at Steve McNamara, he sat there like a lapdog, just not saying anything. Do you know what I mean? So have the players themselves ordered that to go out on social media to say, you know, we don't respect him and we don't want him in the dressing room.
I don't know. It didn't look great, did it?
No, I think they've lost their identity more than anything else.
Yeah.
That the core of that team, particularly under Trent Robinson, who was a dual speaker, was French, played in a very French style. Steve's a great analyst of the game, but I'm not sure that they're a team that you can impose structure on. And if you try to do that, you're not going to get the best out of the French players. They want to be able to offload anywhere on the park.
But where's he going, Gijo? Who's taking him on? Do we know?
Well, we heard rumour. Yeah, that's the video there, Gary, right? Now, sorry for the people listening on the podcast. It's not great, but I'm sure you've seen it. So that's been filmed in the dressing room. And you can see Gouache is going absolutely ballistic. And at the side of him, Steve McNamara sat there, didn't say a word.
Probably doesn't even understand what Gouache is saying.
Well, I mean, you've seen it, Gary. Now do you understand what we're on about?
Yeah.
And the question is, how has that got out in the public domain?
Because that's clearly within the
that is undermining the court.
Yeah, of course
big
it is.
time,
Yeah,
isn't
totally, absolutely. You know, it's like when you go on tour, what goes on tour stays on tour, and certainly in the dressing room, whatever goes on in the dressing room, certainly things like that, it stays in the dressing room. So that is telling me there now that the players have seen that and they said get it out there, and it just shows you exactly what you just said. Steve McNamara's been undermined and he's been shown no respect by anybody.
So you don't get that on T-Fax.
You will in 5 years.
Yeah, you don't get it on. You need to upgrade yourself, and you know.
No, I'm very happy with CFAX.
The sewer that is Twitter.
The sewer that is Twitter. You want to be on it.
Right. The interesting thing is, if And we've never been an advocate of sacking a coach.
No.
I think the coaches do a fantastic job,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about the job that referees do, of course, but I wouldn't have a coaching job for all the money in the world. It's you put everything in the hands of other people. There's not a lot you can influence yourself. You work long hours, and you're the one that has to front the media and the fans when things don't go right. But let's say Steve McNamara in 2 weeks' time, because Bernard isn't a sacking chairman, but clearly it's untenable at the moment. And they are going to have to be thinking seriously about further recruitment for next year.
Well, they've got James Maloney, who McNamara knows very well. He's known him from his Roosters days and what have you, so...
But assume McNamara isn't there. Who do they go for?
Who would want
Do
it?
they go for another English coach?
Who would want it?
Do they go for an Australian coach? Or do they promote somebody like Thomas Bosk, who's a hero at the club and is on the coaching staff?
But
how do they get their identity back?
Well, to be honest with you, Phil, and the way I've seen them players performing, I don't think it matters to them who's the coach because they couldn't care less. I look at that Cassiano.
He's got no discipline
No,
about
he's
his
got
game.
nothing.
He can do some wonderful runs and offloads.
He's got nothing
And then
about
he
him.
spoils
He's got nothing about him whatsoever. What does he offer? What does he offer?
He's a big lap.
He might. I tell you what. He might offer a lovely pass, but then what else has he got in him?
Well, can I ask a
He's
question
big,
about
he's lazy.
not about that, but I watched them last week or 2 weeks ago against London. I watched them this week. It's almost like when they did make a break, they thought, "Oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this." Sling it on the floor, throw it into touch. It was. You can never say a team don't want to win, but you couldn't have done any worse if you'd have been trying not to win.
Their 5th and 6th tackle plays are appalling at the moment. Which for a French team that you'll know at international level, that's when they're at the most dangerous.
Yeah.
When they're unpredictable. And the number of French teams at international level you've seen create a try from inside their own quarter, because they do offload when you don't think they will, or the support play is always available. I just think they might need to go French.
I think
so. I have to say, right, and I'm going to say this now, and I know we've had a dig at him in the last few weeks, right, Matty Smith. I think the signing of Matty Smith was a player they didn't need.
Yeah.
And I think by signing Matty Smith, all right, they brought Tompkins in, and whatever you think about Tompkins, I think Tompkins has become in the last few years an outstanding player. So you can see why you'd want to sign him. But Guijo is an outstanding player. And Tompkins coming in, we're all wondering, where they're going to play. Then Smith comes. It's like there's too many. There's too many, and I think that's annoyed Guijo.
Yes, it has.
And I think again, I won't say he's down tools, but he's not been anywhere near the player we know he is. The player that won the Lance Todd, the player that was brilliant at times.
That's like I said at the beginning of the show. I think he's the guy you build the team around.
Well, that's
because if he's up, he's the guy to follow. But if he's going to leave. That's another important part of the way that they could play that they're not going to have next year.
Yeah, but also as well, a player, watching Guijo myself, a player like Guijo, if you build a team around him and play him in the halfback, you get to him, everything then just goes to kaput.
But maybe you play him at fullback.
Oh yeah,
because that's his favourite position.
That's where I would play.
Because Sam can play now.
Yeah, I would play Tompkins in the halves, and I would put Guijo fullback when he's happy.
And if you say to the guys in pre-season, this is the spine of the team. Yeah. That's how it's going to work.
But then also to Lange, you can't put him in the centre because he sulks in the centre. So you got to leave him out.
Decide what you want.
Or maybe play him at loose forward. But
I thought
anyway,
signing Matty Smith was odd.
Well, it is.
But he's very much a Steve McNamara sort of player because he's a stats guy. I want you to be in the right place on the right tackle and give me a kick at the end of it, and that's why I signed him. But I'm not sure that's enough. Sean Wayne has made himself available. To a coaching position. He's been over in Australia and hinted that he'd have the Newcastle job, but that's just gone to Adam O'Brien today.
Yeah.
Adam O'Brien used to be the assistant at Melbourne. Moved to the Roosters this year. He's going to be head coach in Newcastle.
Right. Okay.
So Sean Wayne for France, would that work?
I think that would work. Yeah, I think that would work.
What, Charlotte Catalans? What were them players?
Well, he's got McAloran, he's got Tompkins.
Yeah.
With the discipline of them players.
Well, is he not the guy to knock some discipline into?
Them sort of players, they like what you've got with Greg Bird, they like what you've got with Cassiano, Guijo, and maybe a couple of others as well, where the discipline is absolutely atrocious. They can't, because they take things into their own hands.
But it's the new start of a new season that he might be able to say, those four I don't want.
They take things into their own hands. You can't control them sort of players. No, I'd be surprised if Sean goes.
So who does get it then? Well, we say who get it. It might be Steve McNamara, but you've seen that video. I've seen it. Everyone's seen it. That is not a cut. I'm still amazed he's there.
And after that, and I say after that performance at the weekend. But having said that, take nothing away from Wilkinson Rovers. They played very well. The pressure was on, and I'm asking again, Mr. Wilson.
Danny McGuire.
I'm asking again on behalf of the
Why did that Geisio try get disallowed just after half time? By the way, I thought that was a try.
We're not allowed to talk about why referees dislike.
No, I just said I thought it was a try. I mean,
under the sticks.
About making a public statement.
Oh, under the sticks.
No,
McGuire got there first.
No, move on. Right, let's get through.
Right, so we're in the so now I'm just going to ask once more, Mr. Wilson, before the end of the show, if you've not done it, and apologies to the OKR fans after you're out.
What am I apologising for?
Because of the great performance. What they put in yesterday, and yes. They did bottle it. Oh, I wouldn't say bottle it.
So they bottle it. So they are bottled. So you're agreeing with me now.
No,
he's agreeing with me now.
No, I'm changing it. I've said, you said they bottled it. I said they didn't show the character what they've got. They showed the character on Saturday. Now apologise, Mr. Wilson, to the OKR people for what you said.
This week's performance is only a great performance if
they win next week. If they lose this week, then they are going down.
They'll beat London on Friday by 16. Don't worry about that. They will.
Well, we'll do the predictions later.
They've never been comfortable under pressure at home as they have been away. The two best performances in recent weeks have been at Leeds and at Catalans.
I agree.
But not at home.
I agree.
When you've got 8,500 passionate, fervent fans almost holding their breath because they're so nervous about what happened, and that does have an impact on the players.
I agree.
And if they can cope with that on Friday night and virtually secure their Super League future, then they rid themselves of the tag. I think the important thing is, as you said, the timing in the build-up to the game was brilliant of announcing Tony Smith.
Yeah, it was. Perfect day for them.
And I think they took over 1,000 fans, which again, fabulous following, very loud, made a massive difference in the second half. And Tony Smith was very emotional afterwards. Came out and said one of the reasons I wanted to commit to this club was because for the first time for a very long time I had the hairs on the back of my neck was standing up just with the reaction the fans were giving us at the end of the game. So that, for me, it's not the result or the performance, important though that was, it's what it meant to get Tony Smith on.
And as we know, Tony Smith leaves clubs in a better shape than he finds them. So that has got to be good news for Hull KR.
The other thing Tony said, which I would be very encouraged if I was a Hull KR fan, was he wants to get more local players into that squad. And again, I think we know there's lots of issues with participation and quality, even in areas like Hull. They struggle to do a combined academy. So whilst there are a lot of people playing in that area, the quality isn't what it was. But I think if he and John Bastian and maybe Danny McGuire as head of recruitment can work together with a priority to bring local players in.
And Craig Harrison.
With Danny McGuire and
the recruitment next year, we've got to be honest about it, it's not been great, has it?
No, that's why I think it's a longer term project. Because you'd look at the recruitment for next year and say, are they going to be much different on the field?
Well, the problem is, there's not going to be, it seems a bit strange to say, everyone thought London would go down. There's going to be no whipping boy next year, I don't think.
No.
I don't think.
If Toronto come up, it changes the dynamic.
If you've tuned in, welcome along 4020 Live. Thanks for getting in touch. Retweet, share, all the things on social media. Follow us on YouTube as well. Subscribe, I think that's the official term. RSW's been banned, and the Twitter poll actually came in. 52% of people, and quite a lot, hundreds voted, said it was all right for him to want Leeds to win.
What poll did we have that 52% was the...
I don't know.
I think there are reminiscences of a poll in 2016, a referendum, where 52% of the country voted for one thing. And
Well, there you go. Well, 52% of you are wrong.
What trouble we're in now?
Because you think it was acceptable for Shaw Wright to want Leeds to win. It is not acceptable under any circumstances. No. 48% of you are right, and me and Scully and Phil all had a 1% vote, so we've swung it, and he's banned. Gone. And if you don't apologise, he's coming back next week.
Can't believe it.
Can you believe that?
No, I can't.
Honestly.
I can't.
The number of times
he hates
coming
Leeds.
here,
He hates Leeds.
in a replica Wakefield top.
Yeah, he hates Leeds.
Yeah. Phil White says RSW has locked himself in a dark room with a dozen blue wikis. Well, I'll tell you, he'll be sat in that dark room in a week. There'll still be a dozen blue wikis there because he wanted.
Yeah, if you've got some blue wikis, I'll be knocking on his door. Yeah, Rich, you can share if you want.
He'll share because He won't be using.
Dave said what was with that. I've had to bin the hat. It was a bit warm. It was my Salford. I tell you what, my Salford shirt looks great on the YouTube.
I want to know where I was at. Where I was your
Got
Salford
one little
shirt?
feet of this. It's quite big actually, but I'm all right. Yeah, the Salford Reds are rising. We'll talk about them
I'll
shortly.
tell you what as well, which I didn't know he was there, but I saw on TV the other day. Paul Rowley's there as well, isn't he?
Yes, just
helping
joined.
Yeah. So medical wrestlers. Paul is back in the game. A good young British coach. We know he likes to play the game the right way. So yeah, well done Rolls and well done Ian Watson to bring me back into the game. I've certainly had something.
So what about Catalan taking on Ian Watson?
Oh, no.
No, Ian Watson's got enough to deal with at Salford.
No, but let's say he decides that it's time to move on. That he's taking the team.
Why is he going to do that? Why is he
Well,
going to do
because
that?
at least
They
half.
might win the grand final.
But half of that squad we know is leaving.
So
He's got to start again.
Well done to Josh Jones, by the way, of my beloved Salford, who's in the Great Britain squad.
Yes.
That is well deserved.
And going to Hull.
But well deserved.
Absolutely, form players.
What's the Great Britain squad being announced again? Something?
The train on, yeah.
Train
We'll go through it in a
Was
bit.
it?
You'll be delighted to know Lachlan Coote and Blake Austin are in it. We'll get your thoughts on that in a minute.
Lachlan Coote after his Wembley performance, my 2-year-old grandson could have caught that ball. Carry on.
Yeah, but it don't matter.
Carry on.
It was Robert Hicks' fault. By the way, actually, that's one thing I want to do on Twitter. I think the RSW is locked in his cupboard. He might be listening. Better tweet this out for us. Well, if you've had a bad weekend or something went wrong, let us know, right? And use the hashtag blame Rob Hicks. Can we do that, or is that a bit wrong?
I did that yesterday, didn't I? From
Yeah.
London.
Blame Rob Hicks.
Hashtag Hicks fault.
Oh, is that? Oh, you did it, did you?
Yeah.
You've already done it. Oh, well, we'll have a look at that then. I'm sure we'll get some interest. You know, if your coupon went down, your hacker, a last-minute goal, blame Rob Hicks. It's his fault. Yeah.
Yeah,
Drain got blocked, washing machine blew up. Blame Rob Hicks.
Don't take any.
I did like you this weekend. I said O'Keara win unpredicted, and I put Catalans down on me
Yeah.
in my treble. Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm
Rob
a
Hicks?
prat, aren't I?
No, it's blame Rob Hicks.
Yeah. I actually looked back. I did tip up Catalan. I was like, oh, for God's sake. Why did I do that? Why?
Why do we have a culture at the moment where nobody will accept blame for anything?
I
It's the
don't
Achilles heel
get it.
of
I don't get
society.
it. I mean, we've had it. We've mentioned this a lot on Twitter recently. People are. It's like with the Salford thing. You know, we picked against Salford. Everyone, you hate Salford. Don't watch this program. It's blah blah. It's like, hang on. There's only there's 3 outcomes in a game. We can still have a draw. We just give an opinion. We're not, we're not thinking.
And there is no form this year apart from St Helens. So
But-
every week we're going to get most of our predictions wrong,
Yeah, possibly.
which is what
A lot of people say we're in the wrong because we don't criticise referees. But we ain't got enough referees to start criticising. If we had like 300 really good refs and someone has a bad game, then you can go, maybe we need to have a look at that.
Exactly.
You know,
Okay.
we haven't got
We haven't got
the
them.
referees
But
that
where
we used to
are
have.
we going to get these referees from?
Well, would you want to be a referee now?
But I'm going to pick this out of the paper, and I
Go on, then.
apologise immediately because it's not a scientific straw poll.
Okay.
But this is the latest disciplinary sanctions in the Kingston Press National Conference League.
Okay.
So this is below the professionals and the
it's an all league one,
semi-professionals. So this is where rugby league really starts and where you inculcate the right values.
Respect, yeah.
Now there was obviously some ill feeling in a Woolston Hunslet Warriors game. The other week it was clearly played at Woolston. So
That's my son's team, that.
match
Really?
official abuse by coaching staff.
Is that him? Is that your son?
The sanction, warning to future conduct.
Yeah.
Not good
Is
enough.
that Schofield Jr.
Not
abusing
good
the ref? Is it? You're a disgrace.
Same club.
You are a disgrace. How have you brought up your kids?
I didn't know that. I'll ask him. I ain't got
Text him
my
now.
phone. Phone's in my car.
Oh,
Phone's in my
same
car.
club.
Text him.
Failing to control spectators, £100 fine, suspended.
Who's that?
Hunslet Warriors.
What?
I don't know. And then match officials abuse by spectators, £100 fine. Where is the disincentive there for behaviour?
Yeah.
If all
Well,
you're
it's a
going to
couple of
get
domino cards. Pay a couple
is a
of quid, you can
warning
come
to
and
your
abuse the
future
official.
conduct, a suspended fine and a nominal fine.
But is
when
that
there's
like, do you need to
clearly
start from the top then? Because
Yes,
let's get
no,
on to this
that's why
this
it's so
McManus thing.
important that McManus has to set the lead on
Right,
this.
can I throw one out there then, Phil? Because when we're talking about the Warriors, 3 weeks ago, the Warriors played UF, and we all know who refereed the game, the 18-year-old girl from Leeds Rhinos, the fullback unit, what's her
Caitlin
name?
Beavers.
She was absolutely outstanding. And my worry was, certainly coming from the area where I'm from, and we just mentioned from there, about maybe the abuse and certainly the respect what she won't get. But I tell you what, as I said on the show, she did that well because nobody recognised her because she refereed that well. The respect what she got from both sides, Youth and the Warriors, and also too for the Speckies, was sensational. So now I'm asking the question, Phil: should we have more females than refereeing games?
Maybe.
So they get the respect from the team and they get the respect from the supporters.
They've got to be of quality.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I'm
You
not
don't just
a
swing
fan
anybody in from
Not
there.
a fan of tokenism.
But no, I'm not at all. But if they're up there with the male parts as well, give it to the female referees to make sure we don't have this.
What if Caitlin Beavers resigns this week on the back of what Eamon McManus has said, and has decided I don't want to be a referee anymore. I'll just concentrate on playing because I'm not going to end up as a Super League touch judge or at some point in my career a referee. If a chairman of arguably the best run club in the game at the moment, it has got licence not only once but twice to absolutely vilify the man who at the moment is our top official.
Yeah. Look, we're not giving away any confidences. We both spoke to him yesterday. I thought he looked devastated.
I think the
Rob.
first thing to say is he acknowledged that he made a mistake.
Yeah, he with hindsight, he wishes he'd have reviewed it. So what? With hindsight, Alex Wams wishes he hadn't dropped that ball 3 times. Coop wishes he hadn't dropped it.
Hindsight's
Justin
a wonderful
Holbrook's
thing.
wished he'd have picked a different team.
Hindsight's a wonderful
Should
thing.
Eamon McManus not be more bothered, Scott? And this is only speculation, but you were at the ground and it's coming from good sources. That Justin Holbrook offered to resign after the defeat at Wembley. What do we make of that?
I heard that myself on Friday night, and when I got talking to her 3 times, have I heard regarding Holbrook that after the Challenge Cup we didn't offer, he resigned, and the St Helens board says, no, we're not accepting your recognition, and he's seen out this season, so it's the pressure getting to Holbrook, and the pressure certainly
It is only speculation.
Speculation.
Generally when we hear something, it's coming from a good source.
There's no smoke without fire, is it? It's as simple as that. And and James Roby saying, we're not going to be renowned or known as a great side until we win one of the big awards. Well, you're going to have to win it for 2 or 3 years to remember there's a great side. It might be a good side if you win it. This year, but there's extra pressure on there. But but when and I've said it in my column today, when I read it on Friday, and my first thing was, do you know what? You're very good for Rugby League. You've been sensational for St Helens. You took them away from Nosey Road, which, as we all know, for a dump. You've reinvented St Helens from there. Great stadium. The investment where you get, the people who you brought in, certainly to St Helens from there, simply outstanding. But certainly to question the integrity of the referee on the point of view where, he's had a meeting with a Warrington fan, he's had a meeting with Carl Kirkpatrick, we know the CEO from Warrington from there. I just think it's totally doesn't what the game needs. We know what happened at Warrington Catalans 3 weeks ago, which has not been dealt with. Who's going to deal with this? This is a Super League club. Can the RFL deal with this? Because it's a Super League matter. And everybody will be saying it, and they have to, and rightly so. It's just because St Helens got beat. Well, Eamon said, well, listen, first of all, I want to congratulate Warrington on what they've done.
Well, stop there then.
Correct.
Stop there. It's
Exactly.
irrelevant. They've won, you lost. Get on with it.
That's what I'm just going to say, man, because I'm just going to say, listen, what's done is done. All right, if you've got a grievance from there, it stays in the 4 walls and this sort of thing.
Use it, build on it.
But unfortunately, it was sour grapes, and the atmosphere at St Helens, even on Friday, the performance by St Helens players, it was like a sulking performance, that they were still sulking after the loss to Warrington. And also as well, all everybody was talking about, unfortunately, not just about Eamon's comment, is about Robert Hicks. Why didn't you go to the screen? That's all everybody was talking about.
There's 3 things. One is when Robert Elston came in, one of his missions was to elevate the profile of Super League. On Friday night, his team that has dominated that competition this year picked up the Leader Shield. Nobody reported on that.
No.
The words of the chairman of the club that should have been embracing the fact that they've won arguably the hardest trophy to win.
Which he makes that point in his notes, but no one's written.
But once you've written everything else, no one's going to pick up on that.
Yeah.
No one's really going to write a feature on how good your team has been this year.
Correct.
And at the time, they were 18 points clear, which was, if it carries on, is going to be a record.
Yeah.
And nobody mentioned that.
Yeah.
We got a little picture, but all of the comment was about what they.
Well,
that's the first thing.
Oh, go on then.
So the second thing is it's factually incorrect. St Helens,
Which the RFL have come out and said.
But St Helens made 18 errors on the day. Robert Hicks made 1.
Well,
St Helens won.
There's still no cast iron proof
No.
that he scored. And as I said, and Rich made this point last week, Is it Morgan Knowles who got? He didn't celebrate like he scored the first try at Wembley. You know, if he'd have gone crazy, would Roberts gone? Maybe he got that down. I don't know.
But St Helens won the penalty count 4-2.
Yeah.
They had so many opportunities. That decision was within the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
They had 70 minutes to put that right. That's nothing to do with the referee or the match officials.
It's a sliding doors moment. They could have given the try and they could have lost 38-6 for all we know.
Yeah,
And I think the third thing is that I don't know if this is right or not, and only Eamon can answer it, but I was particularly aggravated that he felt he had to put out a second statement.
Yeah.
But all it seems to me is that Eamon has been one of the architects of Super League having its own administration. He's been one of the 4 or 5 Super League chairmen that fought harder than anybody to set up an alternative and put Rob Elston in position.
Yeah.
This is a chance to have a go at the RFL, because the RFL control the referees, and it's almost as if we're all still playing this horrible political battle where if I can blame the other governing body for all the ills of the game, I'm going to do that. And if we persist in that direction, we've said it numerous times, sport isn't big enough to have 2 governing bodies.
Why has he not come out? And this is the issue, because he said, look, however, it would be remiss of me to be silent on the officiating both during and before the game. Our referee can be involved in a publicity stunt with the CEO of a participating club in the week before a Challenge Cup final defies belief and reason. This apparently resulted in some pathetic spat on the open sewer that is Twitter some weeks before. The fact that referees go and are allowed to go on Twitter with fans is utterly on me. No good can come of it, and clearly no good does. Resultantly, the perception of officiating impartiality was destroyed even before kick-off. Why did he not complain before kick-off then? Because if he had, and I had to go at Neil Udgell about this a month when he criticised the disciplinary procedure after the event. When he came, one of his players had got banned and he kicked off. And I said to Neil, spoke to Neil personally about it. I said, I think you're wrong. I think if you'd done it before your man got banned, then people that carries weight. If he'd have raised that before, I don't think the RFL have had any other option but to remove Robert Hicks from that game.
Well, do you think that he's doing this so that Robert Hicks doesn't get the grand final?
Well, my question, right, and again, you come on, that there's more of that disgraceful statement from the first one. Then he comes out with a second one. My matchday programme notes seem to have created a lot of heat and light, which is probably a good thing, as the core issue at hand could not be more serious for our game. Firstly, I reiterate my express congratulations to Warrington, worthy winners of the Cup. What are you mourning for? If they were worthy winners, what are you mourning for?
Which is exactly what his coach said in the press conference after the game.
I was very clearly making the point that Robert Hicks had been placed in an invidious position due to recent death threats. So now it's gone from a, what did he call it, pathetic spat, now to the fact that he got a death threat. So that's a bit of acknowledgement there that it's probably a little bit more serious. From a Warrington fan, his subsequent close dealings with that fan and the Warrington club in the period leading to the cup final, he appeared voluntarily on an ITV interview shortly before the game to explain this experience in some detail, to express how upset he and his family had been by this. It's impossible to assess to what extent he had been emotionally affected by this during the high-profile dealings with Warrington and their fan. For that reason, he should not have been appointed in such a high-pressure, demanding game in which Warrington were a participating club. Perceptions of even-handedness and impartiality are as important as reality. This can be no more than in the presence of instance of refereeing where integrity and the perception of integrity is paramount.
So,
In no other professional sport would have made such an appointment given those prior disturbing events and facts. So at least he acknowledges it was actually quite a serious incident.
2 things there. You're giving licence to keyboard warriors to give death threats to referees before any game, whichever team they support.
Yeah.
And the open sewer that is Twitter, St Helens use a hell of a lot as a club.
Of course they do. Yeah, and use it well.
And they don't say, I'm sorry, we're taking a moral high ground here, we're not going to be on Twitter.
Yeah.
They're promoting their games, they're putting their...
What position does this put Hicks in then? Because if Hicks now, there's every chance he'll get the grand final, he should do, based on performances. And even I allow for that. Well, my point is, so his next Saints game, what happens then? Because the other team can go, well, look at what's happened there. How can he be fair to us when McManus is abusing it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the
I think it's a disgrace.
Can of worms.
What do we think then should happen to him and McManus?
Oh, he's brought the game into dispute.
But what happens? You find him, he's not bothered, he's got enough money.
Do you know what I think?
That's all you can do, really, can't you?
And it's very drastic, but it'll make a point. I think unless he publicly apologises for what he has said and said, I got the tone and tenor of it wrong, there was a process to go through that I should have done and not gone public in programme notes, then St Helens will refuse to appoint a referee to their games. The
can't do
RFL.
that. You can't do that,
Well,
though, can you?
have a game without a referee. You can't.
Well,
So,
the reason
pressure
why do you have a
back on
referee? I
St
always say this. Why do you have a ref? Because the teams can't be trusted
Yeah.
to do it
So the
themselves. So
RFL
you need a
turned
ref in
around
the middle.
and saying till he apologises,
Yeah.
we're not going to appoint a referee to
that's
any
not
of your games.
That's not
That's
going
not
to
gonna
happen.
happen.
That ain't going to
Well,
happen. It should
Somebody
happen.
needs to stand up, don't they?
What makes
It's
me
like I
laugh,
was
it
saying
further
about
to
this
his-
Hunslet Warriors thing. If you don't ever punish it,
Yeah, but I
never
think, right, and I've been involved in amateur sport and also in kids sport. The kids react to what they see on the telly.
Of course they
I
do.
guarantee you that they react to what they see on it. You go to a football game and they have a drink of water and they spit it out on the floor, they squirt the water. Why do they say that? Because see the players doing it on the telly. That's what they do it for.
Yeah.
And this is why it needs stamping out. You know, as tempting it is, I'm not going to blame the individual referee. It's an absolute.
but his second statement was only blaming the individual referee.
Yeah, exactly. I just
That's
don't
why
get the
I hold him
comments.
to account.
You know, I thought one of the Saints fan websites made a really good point when no one even mentioned this before kick-off.
No.
Nobody, not one person. So why? And that's the Saints fan website. Now, I think Rich has been on Twitter, you know, and he's having his spat with or arguments with people because Saints fans are defending these comments. I just can't get my head around it. I cannot get my head around
Can't
it.
defend it.
It's indefensible. And that's why it should have a massive sanction. And that's also why Rob Elston should have come out and criticised the
Rob
guy
Elston-
who pays his wages.
Rob Elston seems
and
more
said
worried about
that is
David
wrong.
Fafita's pink shorts than he does about what's going on in the
I'm
game.
really disappointed.
You go back, Steve Ganson, and was a paid-up member of the St Helens fan club. I know that for a fact.
Well,
yeah,
he's come through that referee society. hasn't
yeah, he was a paid-up, but he refereed St. No one ever questioned him. No one ever went, hang on, that's not right.
Well, I'll tell you what, Robert Hicks, for the rest of this season, he will not referee a St Helens game.
Well, Dan says we're misinterpreting the point. Hab says some manager should apologise for speaking the truth.
he? It's not the truth.
It's not the truth.
And not only is it not the truth, there is a time and a place and a way to make your protest. He has an obligation that is bigger than his own club not winning a cup final,
And
which was entirely their own fault.
Yeah.
The obligation is to the game, and that's why he's bought the
Well,
game
this comes back, what
into
was it,
disrepute.
2-3 weeks ago, Steve Ganson, big article in the paper, we've got to respect the game, we've got to respect the referee. Absolutely, it is disgraceful.
You can't defend
I'm
it.
so, Daniel, I like you to tell me how I'm misinterpreting the point. You know, this is, you cannot defend it.
No.
You cannot, there's disappointed,
And
right?
nothing
And Justin Albrook was disappointed in the presser after.
And he said he couldn't believe
He
that.
couldn't believe it.
But he spent all of his time in the presser telling us what a good team Warrington were
Yeah,
and how well they played.
yeah.
All of the Saints players, in the limited and post-match interviews they did afterwards, because they were absolutely gutted, only wanted to praise the opposition. So why is the chairman of a club that is quite rightly put up as being a paragon of what we stand for as a sport able to say something like that and not realise that it's going to have a massive implication on the look at the only thing people wanted to talk about at the game we were at yesterday afternoon, have you seen the McManus comments?
Yeah. Well,
It's
we were at
nothing to
another game. I was at
it's
another
nothing to do
game, and
with
it's coming
rugby.
through to me, and everyone's talking about it. You know, we work on national radio. What do they want to talk about? They want to talk about the comments because it's outrageous.
You have a moral
It's
obligation
outrageous.
beyond your own club. And unfortunately, Eamon McManus, who we like, admire and respect, has got this wrong.
Yeah.
And you can't defend that.
I think hindsight, as Robbix will tell you, wish he'd have reviewed it. He might have reviewed it and the try not been given. We don't actually know that.
Well, it would have gone up as a
A
no
no try, yeah.
And there would have been 3 or 4 more angles than the one that the BBC played at half time.
Yeah.
One of those angles would have showed us a little bit more of what Robert Hicks saw. And it might have been that he was at an angle that it looked like it wasn't conclusive grounding. The other 3 or 4 angles showed that it was, and he would have been overturned. But
Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I just look at this and I think, like you said, the fact that he's come out and almost reaffirmed his stance is even worse.
That's terrible.
You know what I mean? And this is a programme note. This is not a tweet he sent out when he's had
Which is
16
why
pints.
Super League
He's done that, and someone will have read that and gone, "Are you sure you want to say that?" And he's gone, "Yeah, I'm sure I want to say that."
But also too, just in the League Express, I just read McManus Rouse, but also just to finish on the little paragraph here now, and I think this just shows a little bit more of an arrogance from him, to be honest with you. I am certainly not causing anger by legitimately expressing my firmly held views, which are based on fact, common sense, and good practice. I am merely reflecting very widely held views. I can only hope that some very serious, obvious lessons are learned from this by the RFL. We will continue our discussions with them on this and other related matters at all the appropriate levels, but this is the best one. I also look forward to hearing from the RFL's compliance team, to which it seems I have been referred, although I have not been informed why and what for.
Well,
Which again, I think,
and
so
this
I
is-
think
does that not show now more
the
of an
government's
ignorance?
issue.
Yeah, and this, David Hill says, you won't even be talking about if Brian can't out to publicise it. Well, here's where you're wrong.
Right. I said it to you.
Here's where you're wrong.
As soon as I got to St Helens on
I'll
Friday
tell
night.
you why you're wrong. Because Gary was at the game, so he wasn't watching the TV. And I got a message at 6:53.
Correct, Friday.
6:53. So Sky
Friday
wasn't
night.
even on the telly at that point.
Correct.
With a picture of the programme notes, and that's it. So everyone's seen it. So don't say because it was on the telly, people are kicking off.
And the
People
other
aren't
thing
kicking off because it was on the
is
telly.
I have
They're kicking
nothing-
off because it's in writing and people can see it.
Nothing but admiration for Brian Carney for bringing that up.
Well,
Because it would have been very easy for Sky to have brushed that under the carpet.
Well, to be honest with you,
there aren't too many broadcasters.
No, Phil, but it had to be
who
brought
sat in that
it-
home stand.
No, but it had to be brought up because
Well-
it's a massive talking point. It's brought the game into disrepute.
I think.
It's as simple as that.
But I
Yes.
think there are some other underlying issues with the paragraph you've read out
Yeah.
between the RFL and Super.
Exactly. You know, who's the boss?
We need to get away from this. I mean,
But who's going to penalise them? Is it Super League? Is it the RFL? Or who's going
but
to
how long
penalise
is
them?
it going to take?
Well,
Because we're going back to the Catalan Warrington fiasco of a month ago, and it's still ongoing.
I think, though, in fairness, that probably does need some more investigation.
It probably does, but you have to put a time limit on it.
Right, let's get through loads of interaction. Thank you to everyone that's getting involved. You get into YouTube on the comments, you get in touch on Facebook on the comments. Please share, retweet, like with your
Please
friends. Let them
disagree
know
with us.
we're here. We're not here, yeah, exactly. Get stuck in. We're not. This is not a one-way street, and this is how this show
You're
works.
the OKR fans on you. You're not ready to hear them out. They're playing about an apology.
Well, that's because they haven't been on. Haven't been on. You know
Sure,
why?
there
You know
must-
why?
there must be.
You know why? Because all quaking in the boots that they don't lose to London on Friday. Because if they do, I will be getting stuck in next week. Rest assured. Paul said, serious question. David Argyle stood down from his position because of his comments. Should McManus do the same? We'll see. Hab says, does the panel not think that James' Child performance on Friday was equally bad as Hicks at Wembley? Was Child at Cass at the Saints game?
Charlie was the referee.
Yeah, did have a bad game, good
Yeah,
game?
it was pretty ordinary, to be honest.
Ordinary, alright, fair enough, yeah. Refs are allowed to have a bad
Did
day.
he determine the outcome?
No. Wasn't a little bit. He certainly got some severe booing and plenty of attention when he was walking off the field.
Yeah,
But
because it's easier to blame the referee than it is to
especially
blame
when you've
the
read the
Exactly.
chairman's programme notes, and it's all the referee's fault.
Yeah.
But did he materially affect the outcome of that game?
No.
Any decision he made?
No.
Michael said he enjoyed the game, so he thought it was good. Lots of frustration, great high emotion, close battle from beginning to end. So that's what happened there to one of our listeners. Just get involved. Wright says Elson cannot bite the hands that are puppeteering him.
Absolutely, which is what's
You know.
wrong with the appointment.
You know, well, it is, but at the same time, I think now he has got to come out and he's got to be seen to be taking on. You know, and you know, I've been quick to criticise the RFL. I'm not going to say I have, but their last two statements, this one and the Bradford one, have been top draw. I sense a change at the RFL. I think the gloves are coming off here,
They're going aggressive.
and I think they're going aggressive. So maybe we need to have a look at that. You can get in touch. Let me get involved here. Loads of tweets. Sid, our beloved OKR fan, says, I'm not quaking. We'll smash them all over the park, says Sid.
Well done, Sid. I'm with you, son.
He's been on the Blue Wickets.
I'm with you, Sid. I'm with you. If he asks, can I send one over? I'll fight.
He's still stuck in Perpignan Airport because of the traffic control.
Well, Dwayne's come on with a different one. He said, you dress it up how you like, but the main flux of it is that referees make mistakes because nobody's perfect, but it's glaring errors that are being made.
But it still doesn't determine the outcome of the game. Nobody can tell me that if Robert Hicks had referred that and sent up as an own try and even had it overturned, that the result of the cup final would have been any
Isn't
different.
it interesting that the test last week, go back to the cricket, it's a great example. When the Aussies used their review and they needed, was it 8 to win still England needed?
Yeah, 8, yeah.
And I've listened to all the commentary. Ponting I thought was superb on Sky.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he was like, they've just wasted that review. And he said, you win and lose games on how you use your reviews. Glenn McGrath was on the radio. He said exactly the same thing. He said, I've said all along, you'll win and lose a test match by how you use your reviews. No one made them use that review. They used it themselves, and it cost them the game. Now, the players are going all about how they've lost it because of the review. But yet the papers are going, oh, we've been cheated, but we've been cheated by the officials. The officials have cheated us. But yet the people who played the game know. They know. Mistakes do happen. Things like that happen.
Absolutely.
Get on with it. Whether it's a glaring error or not, well,
St.
so be
Helens
it.
made 18 unforced errors
Yeah.
in the cup final.
Yeah.
That's why they lost.
Look at that, biscuits as well. Now this is normally where Richard does all the talking, so that we can eat all the biscuits. But sadly, that's not going to happen. Gail says both Price and McNamara never questioned the ref's integrity. I think they both said he didn't have a great game, but they didn't question his integrity. Coaches are often questioning refs' decisions, like Chris Chester did yesterday, but this went a lot further from
This is a chairman.
McManus. Yeah.
This is somebody who is admired in the sport for the fantastic job that he's done in making Saints a powerhouse and moving them almost at his own expense to a state-of-the-art stadium that we as a sport are incredibly proud of. But I think he's undermined his standing for doing that, because this to me looks and sounds extremely petty.
Yeah, it does. Sid said I look like a bin man when I had my hat on. My Salford. I might put it back on now. Keep getting in touch on Twitter at Forty20 Live. You get in touch on YouTube and Facebook. Loads of people getting involved. Matt says, please explain to me why Sean Wayne can't get a job in the NRL. He's got a better record over here than Holbrook, Brown and Robinson. Adam O'Brien may be great, but he's never been a head coach. So, you know, Sean Wayne has got his fans there. This is good, isn't it? Scully's got about 8 biscuits in his mouth. You're nibbling on your biscuit.
I'm just interested as to whether he's the answer for Catalan if Steve McNamara isn't.
But where's he going to get in? Is he ever going to get back in? I don't know.
But he'd want to come in at a level where he can make a difference.
I'll answer that now with Sean
Go on,
Wayne.
Will. Make sure you talk for about 20 seconds.
I'll answer that.
Is it a long answer?
With Sean Wayne, I think the simple fact is an Englishman, the Aussies won't give him the respect he deserves. Mal really got it, certainly from the Newcastle people, but Mal, from a point of view, is a legendary figure, not just as a player, but also to a coach, and played out there. He has the total respect of the Australians. Sean would struggle from a point of view where, first of all, being an Englishman, he wouldn't get the respect of the Aussies. That would
one of the
hardest
greatest
thing.
coaches we produced over this side of the world was Roy Francis. Absolute innovator. So much so that the Aussies decided to take him to North Sydney. But they made life so difficult for him because A, he was English and B, he was black. And in the end, he had to come home. So it's not just about results over there. You've got to get away from the inherent prejudice.
Well, I think I've just answered that regarding Sean. They wouldn't give him the respect what Sean Wayne deserves. They wouldn't give him it.
Would the French?
They're not French though, Phil. The Kiwis, the Samoans, they're Aussies.
The fans are French.
They're all journeymen. But at the end of the day, the French supporters don't play. It's the players
But
themselves.
they have to turn up to be happy about what they're watching to enable the coach to go out and sign the kind of players he wants.
Carl said if it had been Kukash making those comments, he'd have been fined and Salford would have probably been deducted points. Oh, I love it. I love it. Daniel said after the serious debate on the fallout of Odds, it'll be good to hear your guys' memories of the place, good and bad. I'm sure Phil would have a nostalgic tale or two. We'll have a chat about that in a bit, Dan. Were you there yesterday? I'm assuming you were.
7,500.
7,500. A lot of people said, well, where's the 7,500 been all year? Had they been there, probably the Bulls would be in the mess they're in. But to defend those people, you know, my dad yesterday is a pensioner, paid 20 quid to go yesterday.
But I would counter that
why?
with one of the things we've said for the last 2 or 3 weeks as this all has unfolded is it's as much to do what's happened on the field this year as what's happened off it. And if that was Bradford qualifying for the 5 by winning, maybe they would have got 7,500 next week and the week after. But I have to say, and we love John Keir, that's a real season of disappointment.
Can I ask you a question? I don't think it's actually been asked publicly. The young kid, Ollie Wilson, Huddersfield pay 100 grand for him. Looks a bargain, by the way. he's played every week at Huddersfield. He got straight in the team, pretty much. Might have been there a couple of weeks. Straight in the team. I think we've seen him play a couple of times, Scully. He's a hell of a player. He's played every week since. He didn't get a game at Bradford.
Well, I'll go further before Ollie was there. Remember the Burgesses, the Burgess twins at Bradford. If they'd have stayed at Bradford, they would have been out of the game by now because they just didn't rate him. I can remember seeing the Burgess twins when they played for the England Academy against the Kangaroos at Lee. I think it was about 2011, was it 12? And they couldn't get a sniff. They couldn't get anywhere near the Bradford Bulls first team. And then we know Sam had just gone over there and what have you. And the rest is history. So again, for whatever reason, the trust in these young players, the quality of these young players, just are not being trusted, and the confidence is not putting them. For whatever reason, I don't know. The coaches themselves can only answer that. But as I've said many times, there's plenty of talent out there who are just not given opportunities for long periods of times.
Okay, fair enough. Loads of people getting in touch. Dawn says Wayne for England. She also said that I said Wakefield would beat Wigan. Well, they give him a good game, didn't they? They give him a good game.
Two very serious injuries that meant they only had 15 players at the end.
Yeah.
Which might have had more of an impact than whether Liam Marshall tapped the ball in the right place or not.
Yeah.
Again, too easy to blame a referee.
Yeah. Okay. Ollie said he must have just joined us for the first time. Good evening, Ollie. So no mention of us winning. Who do you support? I don't know. Who do you support? I don't know. Tell us who you support. That'd help. Get in touch on Facebook. Get in touch on YouTube as well. Lots of people doing exactly that. So we'll crack on with some of these right now. What do we want to talk about next? I guess we've got to go down the Bradford route, haven't we, and discuss that. Matthew said just on the McManus, he called the death threat to a man whose family a pathetic spat. That's a disgrace. I think he has come out, and I think that bit of it is probably rectified and said it was quite a serious matter, but it's almost
the fact that he called it a stunt in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
In this day and age, that is licence for people to replicate that sort of behaviour, which is reprehensible.
Samson said, is there any substance reports Hull are after James Cunningham from London? It has been rumoured.
So
although, I would say he's a former Hull player, by the way.
Yeah, former Hull player.
But they've just signed Johnston, haven't they? So I would have thought that would blow that one out of the water.
Hull KR, I think.
Okay, fair enough. I
want to sign Cunningham.
Interested.
Well, they've got the hooker from Hull as well, Lytton as well, so how many hookers do they want?
And Parcel.
Yeah.
How many hookers do they want?
Well, let's talk about Hull.
Cunningham play halfback.
No, I'm not so sure.
No.
I'm not so sure. He can, but I'm not being rude. If you're challenging at the top end, he's done a great job for London. I'm not decrying that, but I want to talk about Hull. We'll talk about Huddersfield first because they went to Hull on Friday. I give them no chance. No chance. I said if they were going to win, they had to make it a bit of an ugly game, keep it tight, and that's exactly what they did. And I think it's only fair that I say well done to Matt Frawley. He's come in for an hammering. I think his coach at times has chucked him under the bus by leaving him out every other week. He had a good game. Gaskill was outstanding. The players got stuck in. He played a young kid on debut, John Luke Kirby off the bench, another Giants Academy. I think he had 3 Academy lads on the bench, memory serves me right. Another boatload in the team. Came in, did a great job. The youngsters did a great job. They got the win. We didn't give him a chance, Gary. In all fairness, we never give him a chance.
I think I said Hull by 32 because after that performance against Leeds and the performance against Cass, and also as well Simon Wolford in the presser after, and I said he was a broken man. He was literally in tears, and he was just admitted, I don't know what else to do with these players. You know, I've ripped into him. I've given him the TLC. I've done everything to get a response, and and I felt sorry for the coach from there. So, what I'd like to know is what has Simon done to get a response to get the victory over Hull?
I spoke to him after the game, he said it had been a really tough 2 weeks, so we're just waiting for the game.
So had he changed anything a little bit, or what?
I think what he said in an interview that I heard before the game was that they made the decision now that they were going with experience in the halves.
Yeah.
That he was going to move Gaskill back from full-back to stand off, and he was going to bring Frawley in, because with the games that they got left, there was no margin for error. So whilst he wasn't decrying the skills of Ollie Russell or Tom Holmes, he needed experience. And it's like you said last week, even if it's 5 drivers and a kick for 80 minutes, that wins you the game. That's what you got to do.
No one's bothered what it looks like.
And they were extremely disciplined in everything that they did.
They did really, really well. You know, I thought physically they matched up early on. They went behind early, thinking, "Oh, hang on, this could go," and then they got 2 quick fire tries. But I thought Gaskell, as I said, was good. The forwards were good. They just got stuck in. It was a wholehearted performance.
I think again, then, you know, the coach himself has realised and explained to the players this is the way they're going to go in. So that then he's got a response from his players. So the players have to take plenty of credit for that and take responsibility, because the coach again has put the trust in these players. Because listen, at the end of the day, a coach can only do so much. It's the players who have put Huddersfield into this position, and I say the response what he's got from there, put the trust in the players to go out there and put the performance in, whether it was good, bad or indifferent, whether it was boring or electrifying or whatever terminology you want to put on it. They went there, got the 2 points, and I think, well, Simon Wilford, well done for getting the reaction from your players and to get the reaction for what he did, because it was no easy task, because Hull themselves, you know, they were embarrassed 2 weeks before against Salford. They wanted a reaction, and unfortunately, rather for me, you know, he's got problems in that dressing room, i.e. by his major so-called player in Jake Connor, because he don't know what to do with him from a point of view where to play him.
And I think that was the difference on Friday night.
Yeah.
Was that whoever was playing for Huddersfield knew exactly what their role was.
Yeah.
And their coach had said to them, "This is what I expect from you. This is what I need from you. It might be a bit rigid in the way that we play, but this is the way we've got to play." And they went, "Okay, boss." I think Hull, it doesn't seem to matter what Lee Radford says at the moment. They're going to do whatever they want to do.
His comments after were really interesting, right? Because I watched that game, and for the second half, right, they had a lot of ball in good areas, and it was like the old dull FC, right? Sneed, non-existent, did nothing, right? And Connor was even worse for me. He is not.
Was Kelly not playing at all?
Kelly's, I think he's injured at the minute.
Okay.
Although,
he's not
again,
anyway. We don't know.
Sources suggest he's looking to get out. He's not happy. I just look at Hull, and the creativity is zero when Connor plays at 6. Now, he might turn up at Cass and have a wow of a game on Thursday, but it's coming back to what you said. It's about consistency. If you're in a team that are challenging for the playoffs, you need good halfbacks. We've seen that from Jackson Hastings at at Salford and what he's doing. Lola here all of a sudden looks a player playing well. He's allowed to express himself.
To be fair, so does Richie Minor, because he's got a guy
Yeah,
inside.
he did have a good game as well. He played well yesterday. But the facts are, and Radford came out and he was clearly not happy with what happened. The creativity, he wasn't happy with that. He said players are not getting on the ball enough. That I need my playmakers on the ball. They're not getting on the ball enough. I think it's going to come to a head there. I think something's got to happen at Hull, because I think Connor, even if now he wins them the grand final, I mean, what do you say then? He's one of the greats. Sneed winning the last top man of the match. Yeah, in the big game he came up with the goods, but in the league you need it week in, week out. And they never looked like scoring in that second half. As well as Huddersfield defended, they didn't get a lot thrown out.
I think we thought that this year would there be a big turnover of players at Hull. And they left it virtually alone this year. Some of the people that we thought might retire have done an extra year, but they've now announced they will be retiring. There's some big men and some renowned names coming in next year. I just wonder if that's upset the ship for the end of this year.
Okay. I don't know.
Because something's missing.
They're all forwards.
Something's missing.
They're all forwards.
Well, Fecky's coming in on the wing, isn't he? Yeah. And Fanu was coming back.
You see also as well, you know, and I got plenty heavily criticised before the season started this year regarding the Danny Houghton situation. You know, we all know what Danny brings, but Hull now needs something different, you know, and they're letting the young kid go to Ulkis Rovers. Well, surely, you know, he brings them that explosiveness, doesn't he? You know, around the dummy half area, what Danny doesn't bring anymore. You know, we all know what we're going to get from Danny Houghton.
60
tackles. 60 tackles a game, great service, and maybe a kick from dummy half when he sees that the bit of pressure on Sneed or Kelly or Connor from there, you know. So the Hull need a different dynamic now from that area around there, because while ever Danny Houghton makes himself available, and while ever he's contracted the Black and Whites, he's going to be the first name on the team sheet, isn't he? Yeah. So that may be another problem for the Black and Whites.
Well, Gary says, sick note, Kelly, cheap ticket time to Australia. Sean said, fair play to Huddersfield, but Hull were clueless. When we get anywhere near the line, and not for the first time, they're their own worst enemies. Some people can see no wrong. They've won 5 games at home all year. I think they've got the second worst
I was just going to
record
say
in the competition.
2 teams who need to win at home are Catalan and Hull.
Yeah.
And because the fans are 14th.
The fans at Hull were great for about 70 minutes. Honestly, they were singing. It was really loud, probably the loudest I've heard it, barring Derby Day. But at the end, they booed them off and they got stuck in.
You cannot afford that.
But Sean continues. He said, won 5 at home all season. Connor's outstanding in the centres, but never a 6. Maybe it's time for a change of ideas. People saying as Radford lost the dressing room. I don't know.
I think the mix is wrong. I don't think he's lost.
It just doesn't work.
But also as well, and everybody knows my feelings on Mark Sneyd. I don't hear anybody criticising Mark Sneyd from a point of view where he doesn't create anything with ball in hand. I don't hear anybody else except myself. So why don't the Hull fans say that?
Well, because I guess if you've got someone that's creative with him, it's the old yin and yang, isn't it? He'll do the boring stuff. He'll pass it on, he'll kick it, whatever. I have no issue with that, and that's what won him the cup. But you need some creativity, and without Kelly, I don't think they have it. Jake Connor, whenever I see him play at number 6, I just go away disappointed because we all know how good he is. We know how good he can be. I remember at Cass, pass for a try, slipped an offload out for Kelly. Looked a world.
I did put him on, the
Man of
Steel point, but he only did 2 things that night. The winger was brilliant, Albert Kelly was.
But it's 2 bits and it's 12 points, and it wins you a game. I haven't seen that from him for a long time now.
Well, exactly.
Or anybody else in the Hull colours.
No, probably not. Probably not. So, I don't know. I look at that and think it don't work for me. That was as well played, and I mean that for Huddersfield. They were brilliant. They did what they had to do. They give themselves a lifeline. But for Hull, they've got to go to Castle and win this.
You wouldn't dare to predict what we're going to see in the playoffs because. No. It's so uneven this competition.
Well, you know what? That win at Huddersfield.
But I can't see Hull winning the grand final.
Oh, no, not going to get anywhere near. I said it 3 weeks ago, didn't we? Kurt Dixon said after the big Wakefield, Hull now they're the only side who could challenge St Helens, and if they get to the grand final for 80 minutes, you never know what's going to happen. They could win the grand final.
Well, they could still win the grand final. Well, you can't say they will.
I think it's a massive test for them this week because Castleford are in a cup final this week. They've got a better points difference than Hull. If they can win this week at home, they will go in the top 5.
Castleford need to win. Well, I think Hull have got St Helens at home, haven't they? And then Castleford got a Wigan in the last game of the season. So Castleford need to win. But you just talked about another half out there with Huddersfield and Frawley, and rightly so. He's got plenty of stick because of the way he's performed this year. And
what's the best way to answer it though? When you get back in?
Yeah, but mate, listen, he was brought in as a big signing to sort out the situation at the half-backs, a combination with Gaskill, and he's been garbage all season. And it's like what Wakefield, after Wakefield beat the other week, they beat Ulkia. When they beat Ulkia, Wakefield, fantastic. Hold on, that's 1 win in 11. Frawley, that's one performance in what Abbott games have played, 27. One performance in 27. I'm sorry, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable.
Word coming out.
Consistency. If you want to be remembered as an half decent player, you're a good player, a great player when you do it international level. But if you want to be remembered as an half decent player, you've got to do it consistent, week in and week out. You've got to be hitting the 8 out of 9 out of 10s every single week. If you want to be remembered as a good player.
Okay.
Word that
I can't disagree with that.
Simon Wolford might not be at Huddersfield next year, even if they survive.
Why?
I've tried to
an assistant coach.
I've tried to stand that up. I can't stand that up.
No,
I'm not saying it's true.
Word was coming out.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure. He had his family with him at the weekend. That was
I think there's talk that St George might be the next club to get rid of their coach.
Yeah, exactly.
But I tell you,
everybody will be looking for new backroom staff.
But as I say,
will be looking for backroom
when
staff.
when I saw Simon Wolf, and I know I'd be delighted now he got the win the other night. But when I saw him after the Cass game, literally, I felt sorry for the man.
He has made it been tough. I asked him. He said, "Look, it's been really tough."
I felt sorry for him, and I felt to him, and as well, I felt to him saying, "Do you really need this? Look at you. You're a broken man. You're a broken man because." We all know Ken Davey, and I think I know Ken pretty well. The loyalty what Ken Davey will show, and we all know after the Leeds game when Ken doesn't go in dressing rooms and all this sort of thing. But after the Leeds game, he went in and ripped into him and all this sort of thing. And when there was playing Castelford, he's got his hand in his head, 3 or 4 times from there. And Ken is a very loyal, as we know from there. But when I saw Simon Wolford, great victory this week, the response we've got from his players, and I just thought, I don't think you're going to stay here because just look at you, you're a broken man. If
London do beat Hull KR on Friday, then Huddersfield still have to find a performance.
Well, they've got Catalans.
They've got Catalans. I'm surprised. You know what? I'm surprised that the Super League haven't just added the 2 on already. So I don't bother, lads.
Well,
save the airfare. Save the world. Save the world. Don't get on the plane. Reduce your carbon footprint and don't bother.
Well, do you know what Huddersfield should do when Catalans arrive there week of Sunday? Factor 6.
You won't need that at Huddersfield, mate. It'll be alright with nothing. Bit of ladle.
For the playing home, a Factor 6 lotion, right, and a pack of King Edwards, because that's exactly what they are at the moment, the Catalans Dragons. They're on holiday, and they have been for the last 5 weeks.
Okay, fair enough. Keep your correspondence coming in. David said, unfortunately, Phil, there's always something missing when it comes to FC. The self-destruct button is like a yo-yo. Paul said, coming to Hull, not Hull KR. Which is interesting. Simon has denied any rumours he's leaving, says Michael. We're the best will in the world, Michael, right? And it's not that I don't believe you, and I haven't been able to stand that rumour up myself. But Simon's hardly going to come out with 2 games. Yeah. What it is, lads, I'm off anyway. So I'll good luck. Good luck. Make sure that you're not all unemployed next year.
He's a professional. So
you get. Dave said the backs as a whole were so disappointing against Huddersfield, but we were missing Ratu, Griffin, and Kelly, and had to play the young kids in the centre. You know what? They're not the problem. They weren't not the problem. If you're getting it to the centre and they're not doing something, the centre's the problem. Never got the ball.
Well, will that Buchanan play? Because he's a good centre.
Yeah, he came in like Griffin dropped out last minute.
Well, if he gets the right service, Buchanan's like Harry Newman at least. He's a quality centre. Don't worry about that. If he gets the right service.
So, it's it is. They just didn't play very well again at home. Second worst home record. They got to Castle. Do the predictions in a bit. We've got to mention well done as Brian Carney on Sky for asking, is Luke Gale leaving Castle to go to Leeds now again? Our sources would suggest that deal is done. He denied it. Hardly convinced him. Well, all right. He went, yeah. Wasn't great, was it?
It was an uncommitted response, I suspect.
What do you reckon? Do you think it's going to happen?
A couple of other things would have to happen for that.
What's happening with Mylan? Is he under contract or not?
Yes, he is. So that's why a couple of things.
Yeah, didn't Mylan sign a 2-year contract with a year extension? It wasn't a 3-year deal, Phil. So they're going to extend that.
It depends in whose favour that extension was, I suspect.
No, I guess so. Yeah, but I tell you what.
I think he's under contract.
But I think if I was John Wells was the CEO, whoever's in charge at Castle there with the transfer policy, I'd cash in on Luke Gale.
If they're going to rebuild, can I just ask you? I cannot still not understand why Darryl Powell has signed a new contract at Cass, because I think they're further away now than they have been for a number of years from winning anything. They could still. You always got to put this caveat in because someone will dig it out when they win the grand final. You said they weren't going to win. He needs to rebuild his team.
Absolutely.
He needs some money to do that. They'll get Gale, probably their top earner, I dare say. They get some money in for him. Perfect excuse, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's no two ways about it. The figure's 150 grand and a player maybe from there. And let's not forget, Luke's not played for 2 years now, and he's had 2 serious injuries.
Yeah.
And also two serious ones where, when you look at a halfback, very, 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 very important part of your body, i.e. his knee and his Achilles tendon, because not just for his running game, but also to his kicking game.
Yeah.
And from there, so I think it would be great business for Castelford to rebuild again, get plenty of money in, which the figure is mentioned around about 150 grand and a player from there. And Luke, also as well, to be honest with you, he's unfinished business at Leeds. That's where he started.
Yeah.
Didn't work out. Had to do his apprenticeship, as we all know, down at London.
Yeah.
Then
fair play to him.
Fair play to him. The attitude, what he showed from there. Did well at London from there. Snapped up by Cass. Made himself a man of steel. Made himself an international player, even though it's not really worked out from international level because he's not allowed to express himself from a point of view where Wayne Bennett wants to play. He's unfinished business at Leeds, and he would jump at the chance from there. But the big scenario is, the big problem is about his injury.
Would you go and get Guijo?
Yes.
No.
No.
If I was a coach, I wouldn't give you anywhere near my dressing room.
Why?
I wouldn't. I think he's a sulker.
I think he's exactly what they need.
Okay.
He'll give them something
Split
they
of
haven't had
opinion.
since Zach Hardy.
I wouldn't have him anywhere near my dressing
I
room.
think the other thing about Luke Gale from a Leeds point of view, and of course it's all absolutely dependent on fitness, is that there would be a dispensation on the salary cap because he came through the Leeds system.
So they
So even though they're paying to get him,
yeah,
they're getting something back on that if he's fit.
Well, we'll
So
see.
it might work for everybody.
We will see. Salford Killer says no mention of Salford winning 6 in a row. What?
Did he not watch the beginning of the programme?
Come on, man. Even when we praise them, we can't.
To be fair, we're not devoting a full 2 hours to it.
No, but also to.
I see. Salford Reds are rising.
But also as well, Salford fans, listen, you're doing magnificent. Well, I'm delighted. Everybody knows that Ian Watson, the way that he plays, absolutely sensational. Promoting the game as it should be, and it should be played. He's got rolling there from there now. But hey, come on, Salford fans, you got 6 in a row. You play Warrington 5 days after the Challenge Cup. They've been on the drink. They still would have been half popped up, to be honest with you, from there. So you're serious contenders. You come to Leeds on Friday night. See what you like from there. There you go, Salford.
Yeah.
They've been brilliant.
They have been brilliant.
I think I said 2 weeks ago that Ian Watson was my choice of coach of the year.
Oh, Danny was going to be coach of the year. Now Holbrook has blown the treble. Justin, I've said for the last 2 years you're going to do the treble. Don't be listening to me. Don't listen to my predictions. You've blown it. Danny Ward has got to be the coach of the year.
Watson.
Danny Ward.
Even so.
Hold on. Here, don't you be kidding, right? That anyone, the big people don't listen to this show. Simon Wolford has just messaged in.
Oh.
Seriously, this is God's honest. Not going anywhere, lads. I love 4020 too much. That's what he's put on his social media.
Hey Simon,
Right.
Simon, you are welcome on here anytime.
Hey Simon, let me just. Simon,
look at
that. Simon.
Biscuits for you.
Simon, if you are listening, mate, I hope you're smiling. I hope you are smiling because when I saw you a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, so I hope you're smiling, so because you fully deserved it. You fully deserved it. If you listen to the show, keep listening, son. Brilliant.
There you go. So, what can I say?
Brilliant, absolute brilliant. Yeah.
So go on. What were we talking about then? Salford. I forget.
Said Salford. Yeah.
Can I talk
Well done.
very, very briefly about Leeds, and then I think we've done all the games.
We haven't actually mentioned anything that happened on the field yet, have we? I don't know. There's so much to talk about. Anyway.
And we need to do Great Britain at some stage.
And we need to do Bradford at some
We need
point.
to do Bradford.
We did Bradford last week, didn't we? We did talk about
All
Bradford.
right then, let's crack on. Where do you want to go? Leeds, big London?
Well, you were there, I was there.
Leeds, too big, too strong, too physical. Eva Samana Fangai, best game he's had. Looks strong. London couldn't cope. First half, couple of errors, couple of tries. Got back into it, but just didn't have that bit of quality. I can't help but feel where Leeds have gone out and beefed up their squad, and those players have come in and done well. London, they brought Brock Lamb in. To be honest, I thought he was average yesterday. He didn't take the line on it. I was looking forward to him taking the line on. He didn't do it. Played a bit sideways, but the best team won on the day. Pleased for Leeds. I mean that as well. And I did say right at the start of the year, I hope it goes out of the last game of this summer. But I did never want them to get relegated, and they're not going to get relegated now, which is good for the game. Pleased for Richard Agar. I said that to him after. Absolutely delighted for him. I'm almost excited about Leeds now. If they go out and add a couple of bits of genuine quality to it, how far can they go?
What I would say is there were three things that struck me down there, all to do with London. The first is absolutely knocked out with their Hall of Fame presentations before the game. Had a lot of ex-players there. They inducted Roy Lester, and they inducted Luke Dawn, who sent a fantastic DVD from Australia. They had a load of ex-players in the room, including a lot who played in that first 1980 team for Fulham. There was a great atmosphere about the place. Highest ever crowd at that venue. But the most important thing for me, and I asked Danny Ward about it after the game, their under-19 team put in a really special performance. Absolutely played Leeds off the park.
They battered them.
They did 44-16.
Yeah.
And not only that, but they looked like a group of young kids that have been playing rugby together for years, and they clearly are, which shows us the talent pool that there is in the south of England. My genuine worry is that if London do get relegated, how many of those really talented, exciting kids are going to end up playing for Saracens or Wasps or London Irish?
Possibly.
As a sport, when you were there yesterday, of course.
Every time I go, Phil, I
The
went
atmosphere
before the
was
Saints, and what I will say as well, credit the Leeds fans, there must have been 2,000 there, yeah? They were brilliant, absolutely added to the atmosphere. Saints did the same when I was down there and they were there. But there was a festival, there's loads of kids playing rugby. It is a hotbed. It is an absolute hotbed.
And I go back to the fact that as a sport, can we afford to lose them from Super League?
Well, it looks like we are. You know,
those kids need a pinnacle.
The odds would say it looks like it's going to happen. And then the problem then is we know a lot of players are leaving. Yeah. Are they going to be able to come back? That's the worry I have. But that was the thought I had going. I always like going. It's vibrant. You know, went in the bar after. All right, everyone's we're in London. They're watching Arsenal Spurs on the telly. Yeah. Good humour, good nature, banter in the bar after. Everyone's there. I just thought it was really good. And by the way, Kevin is. Oh yes, Kevin will be listening to the podcast. Kevin, hello. Called me yesterday. Where's Scully? He promised us he'd come down here this year, and I said to Kevin.
Oh no, I've not been invited.
I said to Kevin, look, Kevin, unless it's free, he ain't coming. You know, he was swilling on his pint was Kevin in the stand.
Hold on then. I was going down to London to one of their big functions, and the owner.
You got blackballed, didn't you?
You got blackballed. Yeah, the owner, Mr. Yu, said no, he's not coming. We're not having him. So
we have got a lot of listeners, by the way. I got collared every time I've been. We get collared. People walk up to me and say, "Hi, Matt." I'm like, sorry, I really don't know who you are.
I was stopped a number of times, and at least 3 of them said, "Can we have subtitles for Sky?"
Subtitles? What's that supposed to be?
No one can understand what you're saying.
People in London just find it difficult to pick up what you're saying.
Oh.
So can we have subtitles?
Yeah. Graham says he's got an easy answer to keep London. He said we'll relegate Leeds. We'll put that to a poll. Which way am I?
It's all right, relegation.
I'm not saying there's an easy answer. I'm just saying.
No, it's all right. It's voted keep him in.
Yeah,
That's why he's not here next week now.
From what we saw yesterday, there was enough for the sport to be thinking about what do we want.
Correct.
From the south of England.
A 14-team comp. It's quite simple. A 14-team comp, home and away fixtures. That's 28, and your Magic Weekend 29. There you go. Simple. Make me the CEO of the RFL. A Super League. I'll make it simple and basic.
Then you'll be able to go to London.
I'll make it simple and basic. Sit in the Royal Box, yeah, exactly. Without a rugby shirt on, I'll put me your best attire on. But you know,
just make you do that on the show once in a
while. Just make
hey,
make it simple.
Don't knock it.
14. Do me a favour. Every time we drive over to watch Salford, me and you, that's all you're doing is what we're coming here for.
No, I like going to Salford. Oh, by the way, you know your mate at Salford. We'll Barry. Stefan, little lad, it was his birthday the other day, 9 years old. So well done to Stefan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, happy
birthday. So I hope you're still kicking the rugby ball around somewhat I gave you last year.
Yeah? Yeah. Well, it's a new one, it's his birthday. Better sort him one out.
Well, so yeah, next time I come to Salford, there's a new rugby ball for you.
I hope he's having jelly and ice cream for his birthday.
Yeah, lots of it. Like RSW today, that's what he's on apparently.
Blue Wicked.
Bradley said, Phil just mentioned Leeds will add some quality this pre-season. Has he got any names for us?
I think there'll be at least 2 incoming.
That's how we catch up.
No, because they won't have Jamie Jones Buchanan. They probably won't have Carl Ablett. Likely they won't have Brett Ferris. So there is going to be some money available.
Right. So who are we bringing in, do we know?
Well, I don't think they've been able to do too much until they knew they were safe.
So when are we going to be announcing the new coach then? It's got to be announced surely soon. I wouldn't
be surprised if it was this week.
Right. I hope it's Richie Agar. I think he deserves it. The players respect him. The players want him to be the head coach. Go on, what are you laughing
at? Kieran says subtitles for Scully available on CFAX page 888. And someone said good maths score because I heard you say 14 teams, 28 games. It would actually be 26. But as Scully will be the first to tell you, he was in plasticine class. But
I also think that 27 rounds is better than 29.
Well, anyway, you know what I mean, don't you? But at the end of the day, we should keep London in for what they have done this year, for what they have achieved. London should be staying in Super League.
And my worry as well with, and I think Danny Ward, as you say, has done a fantastic job this year.
Coach of the year, got to be.
Watson, if they get into 5. Watson has to be. It has to be.
Oh, Mark, hold on. Salford, yes, Salford were supposed to win
Get
some
relegated.
games.
Everyone thought they'd get
No. Everybody thought London won't win a bloody game. Never mind win 9 games.
But you said halfway through the season that the Salford dressing was in disarray.
Yeah.
And the
you
season.
did. Oh, you
and the
give us
season
some.
was
I
over.
got hammered for that.
Season was over.
Don't be blaming me.
And now-
I got it from a good source. I can announce the source.
No,
we know who Mrs. Salford is, don't we? But anyway, we know who Mrs. Salford is. Hey, listen, everybody was saying exactly the same.
So to knit them together and make them into a top 5 team.
Are you going to apologise to Salford then?
What for?
For saying that their dressing room were in disarray when clearly it's
I
not.
didn't say it, you said it.
No, I did not. No.
You said it, not me. I was only told it was, and I told you when you announced it.
Well, a lot of people don't want London to go down. It was
Exactly.
interesting yesterday, and this is a good point. And again, we talk about fans not going to Wembley. It was week after Wembley. Must have been nigh on 2,000. Certainly 1,500 Leeds fans there yesterday. Saints took a boatload. Warren took over 1,000.
Yeah.
So fans are making the trip. It's not a cheap day out, you know.
No, it's
It's
not.
a great atmosphere. I
Exactly.
recommend going.
Yeah.
But it's not a cheap day out.
No, it's
so again, you know.
Yeah, but mate,
London
if the fans are all travelling down by bus, you know, the bus.
It's
what would the
Well,
bus?
that many
30,
buses, you know.
30 quid on the bus.
Yeah, well, that's not bad. What's London there and back?
Look.
London there and back for petrol's what, 65, 70
But
quid, is it?
it's,
Do you know what I mean?
it's 5-6 quid a pint.
Oh, I'm not going then. 5 or 6 quid a pint, I'm not going. If
I
anyone give me
just think
hospitality, I'll come down.
We have to decide not to waste the investment that we put in. And what struck me going to London for the first time this year, apart from the fact there's some fabulous people down there who are as big an advocates of rugby league as anybody who supports Bradford or Featherstone or Lee. And they're evangelists about the sport as well. That there is so much potential. As we drove into the ground, I think I mentioned it to you earlier, there was a tournament being played mile and a half down from turning left to go into Ealing. That was the Coe Championships, KHO. Never heard of it. So we looked it up when we got there, and it's one of the ancient tag competitions, a bit like British Bulldog, but it's played in the Indian subcontinent. It was a field absolutely
I saw it.
of young Asian kids having the time of their lives, and all their parents there, and it looked very competitive. They looked really fit. And down the road, a mile and a half away, was a rugby league game. We need to find a way of harnessing this, and the potential is there that isn't anywhere else in the sport. And if we're serious about it, let's keep London in Super League.
Yeah, the problem is though, it's too late now because all the players that they had, this
Yeah.
super side that
Well,
they've got,
and this is the
they're
problem.
all leaving.
This is the problem.
And that is the problem. They're going to be like Huddersfield Town when they say that everyone
Yeah.
was great and then the year after they never won
If
again.
they stay up this year, they lose the 5. I mean, we heard the Player of the Year announcements. I think that the supporters club did after the game yesterday, and Player of the Year was Jordan Abdul. Well, he won't be there next year. I can't remember who the young Player of the Year is, but again, he wasn't going to be there next year either. So Danny Ward, who I think will stay because he loves living in London, he's got to rebuild from nothing.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
And he had a group of players that had played together in a championship that had a point to prove, and he got the very best out of them. They won't have a point to prove next year.
Yeah. So a look. It might be £5 a pint, but you know how much is for a blue wicket. Sure, right, won't there? He won't. 14 teams in Super League, topped up from the Championship. Nobody relegated. 15 in the Championship. Says Nicholas. You can't help but feel it's the right thing to do, but it's going to typical bloody rugby league. It'll be done too late.
But also,
But I'd say
How
that
do
if
you-
London had a loss every week, we'd be saying, "Oh, get them out."
but they haven't. So that's changed the dynamic.
Exactly.
But how do you bring about the change like that might even help with the next television deal if you've got two different governing bodies that want two different things?
Yeah, exactly. So keep your messages coming in. David loved the trip to London on Sunday and the Wembley. He went to Wembley as well. Drove down yesterday, parked in the ground, back home by 9. Great day for all of us. Have we discussed the Ladies' League games? No, we haven't. Oh, you'll have to do that, Phil. You'll have to be Richard.
Yeah, Richard does it.
Richard is banned, by the way. He's banned this week. We're considering his future. That's all I'm saying.
He's committed a crime nearly as heinous as Eamon McMahon.
Oh, has he? By the way, being asked on social media, would you keep James Donaldson? His contract's up. I got
That's an
yesterday on
interesting
the radio. I would.
I mean, they are going to need second rowers, and he's not lacking in
He's
effort.
got to be value for money, hasn't he?
Yeah,
For
I
what
would
they're
have
paying
thought
him.
I would have thought.
So would you keep
You
him?
need a squad of 25, and so on that basis, I probably would.
You, Scully? Donaldson?
No.
I think if Stevie Ward's fit next year, who knows?
Steve Ward was in the Great Britain squad.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
was
Still.
wearing one tight yesterday.
Yes, he was. Come on,
Stevie
give
Ward's
us
still in the Great
give us
Britain
the
squad. He's not played all season.
I know. Give us the results.
Right, the women's results this weekend on Friday the 30th of August. Leeds 22, Bradford 4. Wigan 52, Wakefield 6. York 0, St Helens 56. That is in the Super League, and what that means is...
Hold on, you haven't read the Cass one out. You haven't read the Cass one out.
Sorry, there's
Come
a
on,
report
Phil.
from Cass.
Come on.
Cass 74, Featherstone 8.
Yeah.
So
Come on,
it
Cass.
wasn't in the results.
No.
Table, Cass top of the league, 11 out of 11. Saints second, probably the only team that can catch them, 10 out of 11. Leeds third, Wigan fourth. Likelihood is that they'll be the top 4 when the playoffs come around. In the Championship, Barrow 44, Huddersfield 12. Warrington 54, Alton 0. Fixtures this weekend.
I don't think there are any other this week. Is it a week off?
Yeah, no, here we are.
Oh,
St
here we
Helens Leeds on Sunday at 2 o'clock.
Big game, that.
Wakefield Cass at 1 o'clock. Wigan Bradford at 2 o'clock, and that'll be Bradford's last chance of breaking.
Well, they've got to win, haven't they? The Bulls have got to win that, or they can't make. There's only 3 rounds left, so if they don't win, they can't make the 4.
And York against Featherstone.
Good stuff. Should be some decent games. Actually, quite evenly matched games there. If you look at the table, I think it's pretty much
Worth watching.
they're playing in order, if you like, aren't they?
Yes.
So yeah, good. Yes.
Apart from Wakefield and Castleford.
Yeah, apart from that one. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Right, let's have a look. Who will show right support when Wakefield and Leeds meet in the Women's Super League?
Well,
I can't
I
possibly
think it's
comment.
a question that needs asking.
Well,
With his behaviour this weekend.
I'm just, anyway. Keep your messages coming in. We've got to talk Great Britain, haven't we?
Yep.
We've got to talk Great Britain. Let me get the squad up and then we can go through it. It is only the train-on squad, so it doesn't include any NRL players. We must make that
It's going to be cut
perfectly clear.
to 24 with the NRL players still included, so the bulk of this squad will not be going out there. This is just a chance to get them together, start their preparation, but there's at least 8 or 9 playing in the NRL who will be straight in. If it's cutting from 29 to 24, then I think a lot of these players will select themselves, and there's some fringe guys who will drop out.
Yeah, 5 new names then, or players from outside the England performance squad that have been brought in. Saints, Lachlan Coote, Morgan Knowles, who played for Scotland and Wales. Joe Philbin's come in. I think that's well earned for Philbin. I think I've said it for the last 2 years, I think he's one of the most improved forwards in the game. He played for Ireland at the World Cup, and plus Josh Jones and Ash Hanley, who is now Super League's top try scorer, of course. We should mention that.
We should also say that they'll be looking at an England side to play in the World Nines, and you might include somebody like an Ash Hanley in that. So even if he doesn't go on tour with Great Britain, it's getting a squad of players together, some of whom will spin off to Sydney and some of whom will play for Great Britain.
Matty Lees would have been included, he's injured, as are Tom Johnson and Luke Gale, so they would have been in had they been fit. Warrington's Ben Curry is not considered to allow him to have full off season after recent injury problems. Sean O'Loughlin is included. So let me give you the squad then, Scully. Truman, Watts of Cass, Tompkins, Catalans, Jermaine McGilver at Huddersfield, Jake Connor, Jamie Shaw, Scott Taylor at Hull, Ash Hanley and Stevie Orr from Leeds, Lomax, Makinson, Percival, Roby, Thompson, Walmsley and Knowles of St Helens, as is Lachlan Coote, Josh Jones of Salford, Riesling, Wakefield, Blake Austin of Warrington, Josh Charnley, Darryl Clark, Chris Hill, Jack Hughes, Joe Philbin, Stephen Ratchford, and then we've got Gildart, O'Loughlin and Williams. Pretty strong squad, Scoy. Are you listening or have you tuned out?
No, listen, yeah.
So what do you make of Blake Austin being in? And are we going to get an answer on that, or is if he's in the England squad, he's going to be in this?
I've said it before, and I'm just repeating myself. I don't want any Australians in a Great Britain or England setup. Simple as that.
Okay.
Lachlan Coote took a financial pay cut to come over and play for Scotland in the World Cup. He is as committed to the Bravehearts as any player. He is therefore eligible to play for Great Britain. So I don't have a problem with that at all. I think the only player that I think can feel a little bit unlucky is maybe Regan Grace.
Yes.
Who every time I see him, he's an excitement machine. It may well be again that he plays in the nines. But they've decided that clearly he's not going to figure in the Great Britain squad. Although they do say there is still time for changes to be made. There will be some players that pull up injured. But I think that's a decent
What
squad.
about Farrell? I think Farrell's
Liam
come
Farrell's,
back in
yeah.
good form. He's not in.
Why is Stevie Ward being selected?
Well, someone's asked this.
Why has he been
So how
selected?
come Ben Curry gets to rest,
Yeah,
but Stevie
yeah.
Ward hasn't?
As a player,
I think there's two things here, and I don't think Stevie Ward will go on tour. I think at the moment they're keeping together the core of the players that have turned up at all the England, Great Britain training sessions. I think he will play Friday, and if he comes through that, he'll play the following week. But he won't have enough rugby under his belt to go on tour. But part of what they're doing, I'm led to believe, is looking to the 2021 World Cup. So I think there are some players that are in there that, provided they prove their fitness, are part of an ongoing process to be ready and available.
Why do Leeds
time.
want to play Stevie Ward for the last 2 games of the season when it's not necessary?
Because they need to know if he's fit.
Well, we've been getting told he's been playing for the last few weeks.
I think he's ready. He did quite an extensive workout before the game yesterday. You wouldn't have risked him on that pitch, I don't think. But they need to know if he's going to break down. He's played 3 games this year. He was really good in those 3 games. But both England, Great Britain and Leeds need to know if he can do it over a sustained period of time.
Well, to be honest with you, Leeds need to know first before England and Great Britain.
Well, that's why I think they'll play him in the next 2 weeks. But some of those players may not go on the tour this year, but they will be part of the World Cup. And we're also trying to build to a Kangaroos tour that, again, we haven't got any details on. Wouldn't it have been nice yesterday if we knew that one of the Kangaroo tests was being played in London next year? If we could have given out a little leaflet to those 3,000 people that were there saying, come to White Hart Lane next year.
Sergio, I think, has got the wrong end of the stick because he's just sent us a message. Do you know Chris Froome? I think he comes in Phil's shop every other day.
Yeah,
but
pops in.
Yeah. I don't know Sergio. Young player for London Broncos Supporters Association was Rob Butler, who I saw get his first ever try against Ulkinston Rovers. So there you go, a bit of a stat there for you. No Aussies or non-UK-born players. Well said, the legend. Farrell never seems to be selected, not sure why. Having said that, we are very strong in the forwards, especially when you add in the NRL players. At the minute, he is one of the form players. I think his return has added 10% to George Williams. I'll say that now. Because Williams knows with Farrell there, is he getting? You know, I forget he's gone. And how many tries has he scored just running there with Farrell on the side of him?
And if Wigan do get to the grand final, there's still a chance to change this squad. So
well, Habs says Farrell is the best second row in Britain, and I'm a Saints fan. He would be in my squad. He was one of the names I instantly thought of when Wayne Bennett said England have got no good back rowers.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem is how well Bateman and Whitehead
the situation is going to be now for Wayne Bennett in the back row. The way Bateman's played out in now this year, he's got to put Bateman in the second row. Him and Whitehead. He's got to do.
Yeah,
he's got to do. But as far as the way Liam Farrell's gone this season, after he got rid of the injury of his pectoral muscle, he has been back to his best, and he's back to his England best.
Who's that? Sorry,
Farrell should be in the squad.
Yeah.
For me, should be in the squad.
Agreed. Mike says, "No, he's top scorer. I've changed my mind about him, but Hanley not international class."
I'm surprised at that one. Surprised we Ash Hanley.
But again, Ryan Hall's not fit at the moment.
But you mentioned Regan Grace. Who would you?
Well, I'm saying that I think Ash Hanley might be a call up for the England Nines. Because Tom Johnson would have been, but he's not fit.
Yeah.
So
We have got a lot of great wingers.
I don't think you can argue.
We've got some decent, good quality outside backs. Again, it's a halfback.
Can I ask a question? Now levels, is he
very unlucky?
No, he's playing pretty well, isn't he? Yeah. Is he unlucky not to be on the list?
I think the one thing I would say in Hanley's defence is to be the leading try scorer in a competition where your team have been at the bottom for virtually every week. You must have something. Not all of that was to do with Conrad Hurrell because he missed a few games.
No, well, I was going to make that point. I know Hurrell created his try yesterday, even though he was injured at the time, but I'd have thought he'd have got a load of... I know he's got some tries off Hurrell, but I thought he got more than he has done. And you've got to bear in mind as well, they've been playing one half back there. Yeah, they have been playing one half back until Lewis come in. Fair enough. Tim says, is Hardacre paying for past sins, or is he really no better than Jamie Shaw?
I don't think Jamie Shaw will make the final 24.
I don't think he's good enough ball in hand.
Who?
Would you pick Hardacre now, Gary, or not? Has he served his time?
I would.
You would pick him. He's done his time. He's served his Yeah.
He's getting back certainly
Playing
back
well.
to his England best. As
He is,
I know,
yeah.
everybody knows my feelings certainly from a judge's point of view, but he served his time and this sort of thing. But as far as form goes, he should be picked. There's no two ways about it.
I
Yeah.
think it adds an interesting dimension to the playoffs. So I think there will be some players who know that if they play really well and this squad is being reassessed, there is still a chance for them to get in or
Tuckle,
drop out of it.
I don't know who that is, says about London. Not had a permanent home ground to play at for 35 years. Now we're at a ground where Trailfinders want us there, and they will develop the ground next season for both Ealing and for London Broncos. So
Great news.
that is good news, hopefully for them.
Hopefully they'll do it wherever London are playing, because that is another reason why I think you've got to give a club long enough to develop.
Yeah.
Because
Someone said about 35 years, but I think the making of London now was when they got relegated, because it allowed them then to try and start building rather than worrying about not getting relegated.
But as our correspondent said there, they've been nomads for most of that 35 years.
That's
They
fair
now actually
enough.
maybe have a base.
Yeah. David said, Scott, what are the benefits of being called up for a training squad knowing that you will not get a spot on the tour? Well, that never probably happened to you, did it? But, you know.
Well, to be honest with you, we didn't have gatherings because back in our day we played a little bit more test matches. To be honest with you, so these they don't do any training. They just meet up and have a coffee and all this sort. They don't do anything. It's just a matter of a bit of team bonding. To be honest with you, from there. So.
Well, Chris said they should have England against England nights. I think you've said this.
Possible
Against
I agree.
probable.
That's the way it should be. Let them rip in and let's have a 3-game series.
Yeah.
That's what we should be having.
The problem with that is that the Super League clubs control the players, and the international game is run by the RFL.
Yeah, but also
and if the Super League clubs say we're not going to release our players for 3 more matches,
but also as well though, Phil, they also don't mind it in the state of origin. It's the NRL who rule the game over there.
But
they don't have a problem releasing
they have
their
one
players.
governing body, and they don't have the Challenge Cup, so they play a lot less. They play a quarter of a season less than we do.
Andy said Hardacre, Coop, Lomax, Ratford, Tompkins, Shaw, who would play at fullback. Michael said blimey, I'm agreeing with Scully. Hardacre should be in the train on. Noel said Hanley's current form justifies selection. I've got no issue with him being in. I think he's playing really well. And both Luke and Paul said that Evil should be in instead of Jamie Shaw. I find that hard to disagree with that.
I wouldn't disagree, to be honest with you. There's too many mistakes in Jamie Shaw for me.
Yeah.
He is, and at
I
times he
think
goes
he's
across
a
the field.
great runner out of dummy half.
Sometimes.
But he's limited.
So keep your messages coming in. Lots of you doing exactly that. We need to do the old predictions.
What's that? Oh, God.
10 to 8, or we haven't even mentioned them, but you know what? We're not going to mention them.
There's
You
no-
went to Odsall yesterday and paid your money. Well done to you. I just wonder if the Bulls will be back. And that line, Ross Epperson, great article by the way on his Patreon page. If you don't subscribe to it, it might be worth having a look. It's only about 50p a week or something like that. Great article about the Bulls. Ross has done the beat. He knows the ins and outs of what's going on. He obviously spoke to some prominent people yesterday. Bulls paid the wages Friday, didn't pay the bonuses. Those will be getting paid out of the gate money. So if you went to the gate money, went and paid yesterday, chances are you're paying the players their bonus. So well done to you.
And the worry is when they don't have any more home games
Well,
for
exactly.
the next 3 months,
Exactly.
how are they going to pay them?
Exactly. So there you go. And we've still not heard anything from the chairman. So
Lots of questions.
more questions than answers. Right. We will go to the predictions. Feel free to tweet and Facebook and YouTube yours in. You're more than welcome.
By the way, I got 5 out of 6 last week.
Did you?
Did.
Which one did you get wrong?
Hull.
Well, you told me earlier you went for Catalans, so you can't have got 5 out of 6.
No, I went for OKR. I went for OKR to win, didn't I?
He just said he went for Catalans.
Yeah,
didn't
when I had my accumulator, like a
right, okay.
You don't no, like you do.
Plonker.
Like you do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right, Castelford are taking on Hull. Thursday night, down at the Jungle.
Yes.
It is, well, if Cas don't win, they're not getting in unless they win 100-0 the week after at Wigan.
Well, for these two sides, this is the most important game of the season. My big question is, who is going to be the clueless halfbacks, the Casford halfbacks, or the Hull halfbacks? Because what I saw on Friday night with Truman and Jamie Ellis, totally clueless. Didn't see the Hull halfbacks on Friday night, but you told me as well, Matt, that they were clueless. So that's where the game's going to be won or lost, because the Casford forwards and the rest of the players got themselves in brilliant field position, so they had no complaints of where they should have been on the field for the creativity. Hull themselves as well, Mark, you were saying as well, that good field position, but again, the halfbacks were clueless. So this then now on Friday night is going to be all about the creativity of the centre half-backs. Whoever comes out on top of that, they're going to win the game. I don't have an issue with the forwards, the outside backs, they'll do their jobs from there. And what I saw, certainly, of Truman and Ellis, well, I just can't see how Cass are going to score points. But you telling me that Hull were even worse.
No, honestly, mate.
Well, you're telling me even worse. Well, I'll tell you what, this might be a 0-0 draw, or maybe won by goal and point drop goal after
1-0. You're going 1-0
after 85 minutes. But boy, oh boy. Well, I don't.
KPW's just said that 0-0.
Well, I don't think there's going to be many points in this. I don't, and I think it's going to be a 2-point buffer. And I'm just going to go home advantage. I'm going to go Castelford by 2. I think it's going to be a scoreline of something around about 12-10 or 14-12. That's because the halfbacks are absolutely clueless.
So I'm going 44-42. Point a minute.
Who did you go to? Who did you say is going to win?
Cass by 2.
It's a respective cup final for both of these teams because it's their season. Cass lose and it's over. Hull lose and I don't think anybody will take them seriously as grand final contenders. I just, at the moment, I understand there's a lack of creativity at Cass this year. The balance doesn't seem to be quite right, and I think that will be rectified next year, which is why Darryl Powers wants to stay there and build the next team. My worry for Hull is that every time we say they've got to show what they're made of, they need a response, we don't get it. So I think Cass, with the incentive of being at home, with the fact that they know it is their cup final for this season, I'm going to go Cass narrowly, but in a very high scoring game.
Richard? Oh, he's banned.
Well, he won't go for
James
Cass.
said, we'll score it back. Cass against Hull. FC have no chance if we get backed by the legends. Andy said Hull have a better pack, so they will win. Noel Bateman says Hull if Kelly's back. I'm going to go for Hull. They were awful the other night. They were really awful. But as bad as their home record is at home, obviously, funnily enough, their away record is, I think they're the second best away from home. They won at Cass earlier in the year.
They played well that night.
They did. Kelly and Connor at the forefront, Nalago, they've got a few out at the minute. They won't be as bad as they were the other night. I think they play better away from home. I think the players know they play better. I've got to go for Hull. I'm going to go Hull by 10. Friday night. This is the big one. Let's be fair. Hull Kingston Rovers, 20 points. London on 18. Rovers win and they are safe. A draw and they are safe. London win and it is squeaky bum time down at Rovers.
Well, you know what? I'm predicting here Hull Kingston Rovers winning with a smile on my face because one thing for sure, after that game and after that magnificent win at Catalans Dragons, they are going to show their character this Friday night. They're not going to be, as you call it, Mr. Wilson, bottlers. They're not going to bottle it on Friday. They're going to enjoy the occasion Friday night. It's going to be absolutely buzzing. There'll be 8,500 people there. They'll want to. Tony Smith for the 3-year deal. The players on Friday night will want to respond and give them a quality game of rugby league to say as a massive thank you for their support they've given him this year. London, yeah, they'll come there and show plenty of character. Have done all season, but I would imagine London will be thinking, do you know what? We know the points difference is a little bit suspect at the moment. We're hoping Warrington can hammer Wakefield by about 60 points, which gives an opportunity that if we can beat Wakefield the week after on points difference, I think this is OKR's game. Quite easily, to be honest with you. It's their moment, it's their time. They'll show their character. I'm going to Kingston Rovers by 16.
I think London lost this Sunday in the first half. They had, 6 sets on the Leeds line early on, couldn't score. Leeds had 3 chances, converted them all, and London were 18-0 down at the half time. And even though they came back, I think the damage was done. If London can keep Hull KR to level or edge in front after 20 minutes, I think that atmosphere you talk of will turn from euphoria to nervousness. And I think the one thing that Hull KR have had this year is that inability to win back-to-back, and where they've been let down is at home, where they really feel the pressure. London have got absolutely nothing to lose. Absolutely. They may as well go out and play the game of their lives, because if they lose, they're gone. I still think Hull KR will win by a Danny Maguire drop goal, but I don't think they'll believe it.
Hull KR by 1.
You've bottled that then, haven't you? Just staying by 1. You've bottled that score.
Not at all.
Right,
I tell you,
I'm very intrigued.
Under Danny Ward, what London have got is resilience.
I agree. I agree. They've got resilience and character, but it's all chaos night. Mr. Wilson, are they going to bottle it on Friday nights?
Possibly. There are two outcomes here, and quite clearly for me, there are two outcomes. One is London do what Huddersfield went there and did, and what Wakey went there and did, and keep it really tight and get the crowd out of the game. In fact, I'd say the crowd will be a negative if it gets tight, because they're so nervous, and I don't blame them. They've been relegated. The fans don't want to get relegated. They're as nervous as the players are. They've got to keep it really tight, really, really tight. And if they can do that, then London have got every chance of winning. If they do what they did the other day and they go 12-0 down early, I worry it could be an absolute landslide, because there will come a point in the game where 9 months, or if you want to say 2 years of hard work for London, and they'll know they're going down. Everything they've put in, they're still going to go down. And I think if that happens, then you see them dropping off 50% and OKR growing another arm, because they know they're going to be safe and they can enjoy it. And we know OKR, when they've got to play like they did at Leeds, they can score points. So part of me could see OKR winning by 40 odd. Honestly, I mean that. But I hope, and this is not anti-OKR, I hope London get to go to the final day. Because if it goes to the final day, then we should, if we've got any brains, it should be all over Sky. We should have people at all the games. They're going down or they're going down, and we really have to maximise this. So, do I think OKR can win? Of course I do. And I think if OKR do win, I think they'll win really easy. I'll say that now, because I just think London, I worry, can they get... They couldn't do it last week. Can they do it this? I don't know. But I want London to win. I want London to win. I want them to get their final day out at Wakefield and see what happens. So I'm going to go London by 1. Leeds against Salford. Gary Schofield. Leeds are safe. Salford 6 wins on the bounce. Come on, the Red Devils.
Well, do you know what you've got? I see Salford.
Reds are rising.
Well, one thing for sure.
You'll all be singing it tomorrow.
One thing for sure. It's going to be a full moon on Friday nights. Full moon Friday night.
You're going to be howling, eh?
We're going to I tell you what, the Leeds players are going to be howling because they're safe. The Leeds fans are going to be howling with joy because they know we're safe. I think Leeds will put on a show on Friday night, because it has been a pressurised season due to the position we've been in all season. Salford played some good rugby league, but I just feel as though Leeds, the last 2 games, they're going to put a show on for all the fans. They're going to bring out the best in them. I'm going for Leeds to win. I'm going for Leeds to win by 14.
Wow.
I think Salford having 3 days extra to prepare will have an impact. I think Salford know they need probably 1 win to attain this fantastic top 5 finish. Not sure it'll come this week. I think you're right on what I saw of Leeds this week, and they're just a general relief around the club that they can play now if they want. I don't know if they're good enough. We'll know on Friday. The intriguing battle is Louis against Lollahea. I think Rob Louis will probably win that battle, and if he does, then Leeds will win by 10.
Not even one outcome. You've got to go for the Salford. The Salford massive. Well, they beat Hull, battered Hull, battered Warrington. You could say the result or the draw fell their way that way, but I'm like you, mate. Look, they've got 2 games left. Hull Care at home. If Hull Care win this week, they'll be on holiday next week. So I don't think there'll be a problem there for Salford. But I think they'll want to get it done this week, because they could still finish in the top 3, which would be huge for them. Massive. They win and they're in. Points difference is well in their favour. I've written Salford off too many times. I do genuinely, taking my t-shirt off. I think there'll be a mental down. I get what you're saying about Leeds going and playing with freedom. I also think there'll be a few changes this week. I think there's a couple of battered bodies, and I think Richard Agar will pull them out. I'm not saying they're putting the queue on the rack, and Agar made a point of saying we will not do that.
He was chasing Catalans.
But whenever Leeds have played a good team, they have come up short. You have to say in recent, even in recent weeks when they've been playing well. So I think there'll be enough in it. I think Salford will win. I think it'll be Salford will win quite easily. I think they'll win by 14. Saints against Huddersfield. Now remember, Simon Wolford's watching, so be careful, legend. Be careful.
Hey, well, do you know what? I'm delighted that Simon's got a smile back on his face, and he fully deserves it. Absolutely deserves it. And Tell you what, after that victory last week at Hull, they could go there with plenty of confidence, and I guess it's quite simple this week in training. Do exactly what you did the week before prior to the Hull game. Go out there and express yourself. Go out there and enjoy yourself, and see what happens. St Helens, they're going to rest a few players. They know what they've done. Nobody can get anywhere near them from there, so will they rest a few players?
Well, they don't forget, they will have the first week of the playoffs off.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're going to get a rest in 2 weeks, aren't they?
Yeah, but still, you know, there'll still be a little bit, a few bumps and bruises, and still recovering from that. Massive shock when we defeat by Warrington. So can the Giants go there and maybe upset the apple cart? I think if they could show the creativity what Castelford didn't show the week before, I think there could be a surprise here. And I'm going to put even a bigger smile on Simon Wolford's face.
Just because he's
Like Uncle Albert.
Listen, I'm going.
Oh, it's alright, Simon's not listening now. What are you really thinking? Hey, he's gone now. What are you thinking? This is a joke. You're winding me up. You're winding me up.
Hey, listen, I'm the Del boy of this show. You're Uncle Albert.
You are Del. You're a plonker. Exactly.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to Giants by 7. Lee Gaskell to rip Saints apart.
Former Saints man.
There you go.
I think what Saints have learned from losing the Challenge Cup is they've done the exact opposite this year to what they did last year. Last year they didn't rotate enough when it caught up with them. This year they probably haven't played some players enough going into the big game. So I think Holbrook will settle on what his best team is. He'll want them to play. The big positive for them, even though Cass didn't have a lot of creativity, was nil-in a team, coming off the back of the defeat at Wembley. Last home game of the season for Saints, I can see him having a bit of fun and winning by 20. I don't think it'll make any difference to Huddersfield. They've got their eyes on Catalan the following week.
Robert Hicks to be the ref. Huddersfield win by 64. We all know the outcome. Look, they tipped their guts in last week, Huddersfield, and got a thoroughly deserved win. But I think even the most ardent Huddersfield fan will say there wasn't a great deal coming the other way. They deserve to win, no one's arguing about that. But Saints will have more than Hull will. I think that'll cause them more problems, and I think there'll come a point where Huddersfield might go, right, it's all about next week.
Yeah.
So we will see. There's also the point you could make, game being on Friday, London could be 40-0 down at half time, in which case Huddersfield are safe and they do have a draw. So I'm going to say Saints. I'm going to say Saints by 16. I think they'll get it done. Warrington against Wakefield. Wakefield still need a win scoring, but then Warrington, what is it, 6 league defeats on the trot? They don't win. They potentially,
if Cass win the night before,
could still miss out. So, what do you reckon?
They need to get back on the horse, and get back on the horse. I mean, on the Super League horse, don't they, to be honest with you, because as you've mentioned, 6 on the bounce from there, and even Stephen Rath has been saying we need to get back to winning ways, and I think they will this week. And they know how important this game is from there. This is a performance of the 2 points, what will cement most probably the top 5 spot. Anyway, I don't think they'll get anywhere near second now the way that Wigan are playing, and I think this will be quite convincing for Warrington. I'm not having Wakefield. I'm not having them there off the minds on London. Now, I can't have Wakefield. I can't, and I didn't think they'd do anything this season anyway, even though with the signing of Danny Bruff, I said they'd finish 9th, and I'm not far off from there, to be honest with you. Not having Wakefield, I think Warrington will rip them apart. I'm going the Wolves by 32.
I think the worry for Wakefield is they've been in this scenario before at Warrington and got hammered. Losing Bill Tupou is a massive blow. Chris Anakin, who's been playing well in the last couple of weeks, he's not going to play again this year. So again,
I think they lost Batcher as well for the season, I think.
So Wakefield are really struggling in terms of resources. Like you were saying about Huddersfield going to Saints, whatever they do at Warrington, they're going to need to know at half time what's happening in Hull and London. If it goes their way, I can't see them winning at Warrington. If what they don't want to be doing is going into that last weekend in a winner takes all game.
What do? Do you put all your eggs in the basket the week after and risk getting tucked up this week?
I don't know.
Their points difference is to the extent they can afford to do that.
Yeah, and that's why I think Warrington will win, and probably win by 24, and that'll be enough to keep Wakefield up. Very
good. I thought Wakey would give Wigan a game, and they did give them a game. In fairness, they just came up a little bit short at the end. I think this is one. He said to Chris Chester, you don't have to play, don't bother. I don't think he'd go. I genuinely don't. I think he'll take his chances next week. If they can't beat London for the third, you know, they've lost twice already to them. If they can't beat them in 3 games, they deserve to get relegated.
With a likely and more than 120 points difference in their favour. So.
Well, yeah, but the problem is if London did win this week, London would only need a bit Wakefield. Points difference won't even come into it. So I think, respectfully, it's one eye on next week. They'll have a go. And I think if it goes the other way and London are get beat 40-0, I think Wakefield will chuck it in anyway. So I think I'm going Warrington. I think they'll win easy. I've got 24. Warrington by 24. Last game, Wigan against the recently retired Catalans Dragons.
Recently retired journeyman, pathetic Catalans Dragons, to be honest with you, from there. And I said last week, and the proof's in the pudding, the proof's in the performance. They've got the Factor 6 on, they've got the Keen Edwards out. And I say there's no joy for them at Wigan. Wigan will want to make sure that, yes, they hammer the Catalans on Friday night. Points falling against will still be important. They want to keep that winning run going, Wigan. This will be easy for Wigan because the Catalans are pathetic, useless, and can't care less about putting that jersey on. There's no purpose in their performance whatsoever. This is Wigan Warriors by 42.
I don't think they're 42, but I can't disagree with a single word of that. I don't know where Catalan are going. I think this year's been a write-off and a disaster compared to what it should have been. They need to make some really serious decisions about what they want to be as a club. Now, if they start doing that before the end of this season, might give them a lease of life. Can't see it. Adrian Lamb's saying and doing all the right things, getting Wigan up into second. He knows that you can't afford to drop a game like this in the run into the playoffs. Wigan by 30.
Yeah. Catalans can't beat London at an OKR at home. They ain't going to go to Wigan and win. In fact, I'd be surprised if you even turn up some of them. You know, they've been an absolute disgrace. And I keep going back. We watched them against OKR and we both said they're back. Wigan are back. This is a chance for them. They're well behind on points difference. All right, they've got 2 more points, but they play Cast next week. They won't want to just put the queue on the rack just yet. They're going to beef up their points difference this week. I'm going to go 52-6. I think they'll win by 46, Gary. I'm going to go a little bit more than you. I just see nothing coming back, and I think Wigan, on form, I think they're the grand final winners as it stands at the minute, and I think they will batter the Dragons. Right, that's it. We've done. You know what? Sincere thanks to everybody that's got. We've had loads of people getting involved, and I mean loads. A lot of new names. Thanks to everyone that's taken the time to do it. Share it. Tell your mates. You can come here, like Phil said earlier. It's not a one-way street. We're not here to lecture anyone about rugby. We love it. We talk about it. We have a laugh talking about it. We want you to get stuck in. You know, even more so if we get it wrong. But rest assured, I won't be getting it wrong. Salford will win at Leeds this week. And OKR might just have to wait a bit longer for their apologies.
Just as we finish the show then, if OKR do win on Monday, I want an apology next week to the OKR fans that they're not bottlers.
I'll think about it. Download the podcast, how do you do? Share it, retweet, whatever you can do to help us out. We do appreciate it. I'm going to try and turn everything off now. I might not do it correctly. If I don't, you might get a bit of bonus footage. We'll see you. We'll see you next week. Do not, under any circumstances, say anything that can get us into trouble. Because this is what Shaw Wright normally does, and I've no idea what I'm doing. Right, goodbye Facebook. I think that's gone, and YouTube. Whatever you say, it's going. Oh, seriously, I don't know how to stop this.
Just press the button.
Well, I don't know which one to press.
We'll just press CFAX.
Where's Shaw Wright when you need him?
In a
Drunk.
With a blue WKD.